Listen, your savings account is robbing you blind. But don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get rich quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now, so you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up because this is too valuable. The link is in the description, and hey, let's get our money up. Let's get back to the video. What's the word? What's good? What's good? What up? Welcome to another show, one of the dopest shows on YouTube where we talk about everything under the sun. As long as we get back to the money, real conversations, and real solutions. I'm your host, Courtney Edgar. Yeah, we got some topics for y'all today. You know, we're going to tap into Minnesota. You know, there's some more issues that have come out. You know, 2 ICE agents been caught up lying. We're going to get into that. You know, we're going to talk about the money. We're going to talk about relationships a little bit. We ain't going to go too crazy into it. And then we're talking about the ABC community as well. There are some women who decided to remove themselves from the ABC community. They were former ABC community members. So we're going to dive into that too. So before we do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. And listen, if you want to support the channel, please do so. Make sure you tap in to the super chats. You know what I'm saying? Super chats are at the bottom of the screen. So make sure you support the channel. All right. So I want to go ahead and dive into this first topic of today. I want to go ahead and I want to get straight to it. No fluff. I want to dive right in. Let's talk about ICE, man. Let's go ahead and get into this ICE situation and what's really going on. And let's figure out what the fuck is happening out here in these streets. So I'll get my thoughts and opinions in between. Let's rock out.
The shooting by an ICE officer in Minneapolis last month sparked immediate protests. At the time, DHS said the officer fired in self-defense, hitting one suspect in the leg after they said he was attacked by multiple men.
What we saw was 3 individuals weaponize shovels and brooms and attack an ICE officer that had to defend himself.
But tonight, a stinging rebuke of 2 ICE officers from the acting director of the agency, who says they appear to have lied about the shooting of that Venezuelan man. Todd Lyons saying a joint review by ICE and the Department of Justice of video evidence has revealed that sworn testimony provided by 2 separate officers appears to have made untruthful statements, adding the unnamed officers have been immediately placed on administrative leave pending the completion of a thorough internal investigation and may face termination of employment as well as potential criminal prosecution. Julio Cesar Sosa Solis, who was shot in the leg, and Alfredo Alejandro Alhorna had been charged with assaulting federal officers. Tonight, those charges have been dropped. Tonight, an attorney for Sosa Solis says he is cooperating with an investigation into the shooting and, quote, determined to seek justice against the officer. Tom.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay
Let's
updated
go
on breaking news
to the
and
next
top
video.
stories on the end.
Let's go to ABC.
Tonight, we have learned 2 ICE agents have been placed on administrative leave. They are now under criminal investigation, accused of lying about shooting a man during the immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. What the agents claimed and what prosecutors are now saying tonight. Here's Alex Perez.
Tonight, 2 ICE agents have been placed on administrative leave as federal authorities launch a criminal investigation to determine whether they lied about the shooting of a man that sparked violent protests in Minneapolis. The official narrative of that shooting collapsing. It happened 1 week after the fatal ICE shooting of mother of 3, Renee Good, an ICE agent shooting and wounding Venezuelan national Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. At the time, DHS accused Sosa Celis and another man of ambushing an agent, claiming Sosa Celis fled to a nearby home as they carried out a targeted traffic stop, alleging agents were attacked with a shovel and a broom handle. But an FBI affidavit casting doubt, suggesting Sosa Celis wasn't even in the car that was stopped. In this harrowing video, you can hear children crying as a woman tells a 911 dispatcher in Spanish that agents followed a man home and shot him in the leg when they tried to close the door. Federal prosecutors now say new evidence, including video, is materially inconsistent with the allegations in the affidavit. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons admitting 2 officers may have made, quote, untruthful statements. Those agents placed on administrative leave, and prosecutors now dropping all charges against the men. In a statement, the family's attorney saying they're overjoyed, adding the charges against them were based on lies by an ICE agent who recklessly shot into their home through a closed door. All this just 24 hours after Border Czar Tom Homan announced an end to the ICE surge in Minnesota after the deadly shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and acknowledged the problems on the ground.
There were some issues here, and we addressed those issues. But I'm not going to sit here and say anybody did anything wrong.
And David, tonight those families are calling for the agents to be charged. ICE says there have been 37 investigations involving excessive force. 19 of those are still pending review. David?
Alex Perez with us.
So before we go to the next video, that's, you know, to get it from a different angle from CNN's point of view. So here's what we got. So here's what we know so far. The initial narrative of assault on officers was widely reported of DHS and ICE. Prosecutors later concluded that the evidence contradicted the narrative, right? So my question is, but hold on, 2 agents are being investigated. We know that. That's what we do know. And charges against the men involved were dismissed because the account didn't hold up in court. But here's my question though. Maybe I missed it. Where's the video at? At least we have something to go off of. Now, I'm not saying, let me be clear before I even say what I'm about to say. I'm not defending ICE on this situation here. Because if there's no video footage of the reason as to why you fired your gun and shot somebody in the leg, I can't believe that without the evidence. We need the evidence to show, to actually match up to what these ICE agents are saying. Because if there's some wrongdoing that he's done, or that those ICE agents have done, yes, you need to prosecute them to the furthest extent of the law. 100%. 110%. Because if those civilians weren't doing anything to you, and then that gives you no reason to fire off your weapon at all. So I need to see the video footage of it. I haven't seen the video footage of it, but that's what I'm saying on it right now. But here's also what still needs to be clarified. So exactly how the officer's sworn testimony differ from the actual evidence, meaning where's the video? The full details haven't publicly been released yet. So there's a reason why I haven't seen the video yet, right? Whether the officers intentionally misled investigators or simply misremembered events. I doubt they misremembered their events. Come on. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. All right. And 3, whether any disciplinary or criminal charges will ultimately be filed against the officers. Now, if they get found guilty, yeah, they should be charged to the furthest extent of the law. 1,000%. 1,000%. Right? And how this new evidence affects broader oversight of ICE use of force policies. Now, there's always bad apples. There's always bad actors in everything that we do. I'm not going to, because of the mistake of 2, I'm not going to blame the entire ICE. So I'm gonna make sure I stand firm on that. Just as if you got a couple of bad cops who do some egregious shit, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna deem all police officers as bad, right? Just as there are some shitty men in the military, right? But I'm not gonna deem the entire military, every person that's in the military, as shitty people. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not the kind of person that because I see 2 bad actors, that all of a sudden the entire group is bad. I don't do that. That's what I don't do. All right. So I want to be clear about that. So let's go ahead and go to CNN and see what they got to say about it.
Tonight, a pair of ICE agents are under investigation after being accused of lying about a shooting that happened of a man in Minneapolis. Last month, you might remember this story. The agents claimed that two men had attacked them with a broom and a shovel as they were carrying out an immigration operation. One of the men was shot in the leg by an officer. And when that happened, obviously it raised questions. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem came out and said it was, quote, an attempted murder of federal law enforcement. She accused the governor, Tim Walz in Minnesota, the mayor, Jacob Frey, of encouraging assaults against law enforcement. And also, the same day that she put out that statement, she was at the White House and said this about ICE agents in Minneapolis.
Every single action that our ICE officers take is according to the law and following protocols that we have used for years, that this administration has used, that the previous administration used. They are doing everything correctly.
Okay, well, given that, we've now learned the Justice Department has actually dropped charges against those two men. And in a turn of events, they are now being investigated because they are being accused of lying under oath about what happened. There's video evidence, apparently, that contradicts what they said actually occurred. And this is just the latest case where the initial description that we get from the Trump administration after a shooting like this has happened has fallen apart once all the facts have come out. Obviously, the highest profile examples of this, I don't have to remind you of. You remember it yourself. Renee Good, Alex Preddy, both accused of being domestic terrorists before we saw all the different video angles of what happened when they were killed at the hands of federal agents. There's also the case of Miramar Martinez in Chicago. Just this week, CNN obtained the body camera footage from October when the American citizen and school teacher was shot 5 times by a Border Patrol agent.
It's something. All right, we're fine, man. All right, out of the car. Be advised, we've been struck. We've been struck.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security had initially said that Border Patrol law enforcement officers were ambushed by domestic terrorists that rammed federal agents with their vehicles. The FBI director posted, "Attack our law enforcement, and this FBI will find you and bring you to justice." Once the evidence came out, federal prosecutors asked for that case to be dropped.
And as they were wrestling on the ground trying to detain this individual, 2 other men came out of that building and started attacking him with weapons and shovels and brooms. And as it was 3-on-1, the agent feared for his life and defensively had to take action.
Well, today, a judge dismissed charges against the two, and 2 immigration officers are now under investigation. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins us with more. So what's the administration saying here?
Well, Anderson, it was the Justice Department that had filed a motion to dismiss these charges, which, as you said, have now been dismissed by this judge. But it is a significant development in what was a string of high-profile shootings where there were conflicting accounts from the federal agents as well as from the eyewitnesses. And in this case, as you mentioned, this occurred last month. It was after the shooting of Renee Good, where officials claim these 2 Venezuelan men had assaulted the federal agents, which is what led him to shoot one of them in the leg. You heard there from Secretary Noem that they had assaulted him with a shovel and with a broom, but both of these men had denied that. And in reviewing the video and in speaking with eyewitnesses, they found that there was nothing to support the agent's account of what transpired here, which is what now has led to this federal investigation into whether these officers had lied under oath. I want to read you a significant statement from the acting Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director, Todd Lyons. This is what he said today. He said, quote, "Today, a joint review by ICE and the Department of Justice of video evidence has revealed that sworn testimony provided by 2 separate officers appears to have made untruthful statements. Both officers have been immediately placed on administrative leave pending the completion of a thorough internal investigation. Lying under oath is a serious federal offense. The U.S. Attorney's Office is actively investigating these false statements." He goes on to say that the officers may face termination of employment as well as potential criminal prosecution. Now, of course, Anderson, we have covered at length the moments in which there have been conflicting.
Yeah, if they got some wrongdoing and they aren't upholding the law like they're supposed to, yeah, put them niggas in jail. They out there firing off arms for no reason. Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. But again, just like I say with everything else, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna sit up here and convict you without the foolproof evidence. I'm not gonna do that just because the news said, but there's no evidence. I'm not gonna convict you in the court of public opinion, bro. I'm not gonna do that. I don't care how you feel. I don't care about y'all in this Trump derangement syndrome. I don't care about y'all in these Epstein files. I don't care about none of that shit. Listen, if you don't have the full-on evidence, if you don't have the proof, what you want them to do? Because the way that I look at it, I always try to put myself in the shoes of the people, right? What if that was you in this situation like that? Would you want people just because of the simple fact, hey man, they said that you did this, that, and the third. Now all of a sudden you got to go to jail now? All of a sudden you got to get convicted of something, then there's no evidence on it? Just because everybody in public opinion says that you got to go to jail now? This is what I'm saying, bro. This is the shit that blows my mind. This is the shit that throws me off, and it pisses me off. It really does, bro.
Counts over the shooting of Renee Good as well as Alex Preddy, but certainly in some of these other instances. And this statement was notable because we were hearing from their boss, the acting director of ICE, who said that this review is ongoing now, and these officers may face termination as they determine whether they lied under oath over an incident that resulted in a shot fired at a man's leg.
How important is it to be able to trust what you are hearing about an official account from the Department of Homeland Security?
It's very important. It's important for our people to be able to trust their government. And obviously that, integrity and that trust has been completely thrown out the window under the Trump administration, from HHS to DHS, almost every single agency you can think of. The heads of those agencies aren't concerned with how we bring back integrity to our government and how we can ensure our people trust our government, but they just want to do the bidding of Donald Trump. And they also want to ensure that they're providing cover for everything they do, that they make zero mistakes, that everything that they do is perfect. And that's exactly what we've seen with Kristi Noem, that within minutes or seconds of these instances happening, she takes to social media to call these people domestic terrorists, when in every single instance that we've seen so far, there's been video unearthed that shows that in many cases the officers have lied. And I think it's obviously a huge disservice to our nation.
What other videos? What other videos did they lie about? Because we saw the Renee Good video, we saw the Alex Preddy videos, we saw that, and we saw what Alex Preddy was doing the week before he was on the live. No, we saw those videos. That's a whole different ball game. But we don't see the videos of these two individuals, that they claimed that were attacking federal officers. We don't see those videos. So then I would do the same thing. I would put those federal agents, those two federal ICE agents, in question, like, bro, you sure that actually happened? I don't have any video footage. What happened? Where's the body cam footage? Where's all of that? Yes, so I would put that in question, 1,000%.
But when the people can't trust their government, that is a sign of a backsliding democracy. And it's part of the reason why people like Kristi Noem should not be in these positions anymore.
In the case of the men where they said they were attacked with and ambushed with a broom and a shovel, the Justice Department has dropped the charges. DHS says they're investigating these officers for lying under oath about this. They're facing potential criminal charges. If the administration said, well, look, this is how we corrected it, this is how we fixed it, what would you say to that?
I'd say it's not enough, because we can't trust the administration to do this. We just can't trust them to investigate themselves, because they've shown us time and time again over the last over a year that they're not interested in justice, and they're interested in covering their own asses every single point, from the Epstein investigation to ICE and DHS and what's going on. And it's part of the reason why one of our demands, we have to have external investigations of all these instances, because they're microcosm, they're examples of how really the entire department is completely flawed right now under the leadership of Kristi Noem.
Who do you want to carry out those external investigations?
I think that this is not a normal time, and usually it is not for the United States Congress to go through every single thing. But I think, especially in instances of some of these more high-profile ones, I do think the United States Congress needs to open up investigations into some of these, because again, they are examples and microcosms that really expand out to what we're seeing across the entire country right now. And so I do think the Oversight Committee would be a committee to do that.
Obviously, ICE funding and the Department of Homeland Security funding overall has become a huge sticking point on Capitol Hill. They have $75 billion.
You said that's a transformer?
For the next 4 years because of a bill legislation that's already passed. I think given that, some people might ask, how do you explain a vote that doesn't actually block that ICE funding because they already have it? It would block money to pay TSA agents, FEMA workers, Coast Guard members. I mean, obviously people that would be indirectly or directly affected, not intentionally so, but they would be directly affected by this. How would you justify your vote to those
people?
You
think it's a man?
Well, number one, in the House of Representatives, the Republicans don't need my vote to pass a bill that they want to pass. If they want my vote, they're going to have to do. They're going to have to go with the demands that we put forth to help change what's going on with DHS and ICE. If we want to talk about consequences, Alex Preddy, Renee Nicole Good, people who are being shot and killed across this country, and our neighbors who are being terrorized in our communities as we speak. Those are the consequences about of the recklessness of DHS and ICE right now. And House Democrats.
Listen, CNN as a whole is corrupt. CNN as a whole is corrupt. But we got to get it from all angles, though.
Democrats are using our power and the power of the purse to say enough is enough. The people have spoken. We see poll after poll that people say this administration have gone way too far as it relates to this. I don't call it mass deportation. It's a mass kidnapping campaign of our own neighbors. And so we're representing our constituents by saying, no, we know that through the big, beautiful bill that they passed to give ICE essentially unlimited amounts of resources and give huge tax breaks to billionaires at the cost of healthcare for working people.
They're trying to, that's the thing though. And here's the thing. They're going to try to leverage this entire situation off of these two officers. They're going to try to leverage the entire situation to try to overthrow ICE and get them up out of there. Listen, bro, I'm telling you now, this is exactly what they're trying to do, but I'm going to continuously keep saying it. All of this shit is a cover-up, dog. All of this shit is a cover-up for what Tim Walz is over there doing, what the Mayor Frey is over there doing, when they was what happened to the conversation about the fraud that was happening over there with the Somalis? What happened to that conversation? What happened to that conversation? We haven't heard anything about what has been going on. Nothing. Nick Shirley went over there. He highlighted, he shined the light on what's going over there with the fraud, with the Somalis. And after that, next thing you know, you hear about Renee Good, and then they deep dive into Alex Preddy, and then they're talking about the whole sit-in and targeted all this shit. It's like, hey man, come on, fam. What we doing? What we doing? All right, so let's go to this next video.
Top story here at 5. The Department of Justice is now investigating whether 2 ICE agents lied under oath about the shooting of a Venezuelan man in North Minneapolis last month. Those agents have now been put on administrative leave.
And this comes as the criminal charges in that case were just dropped. Prosecutors say the agent's story did not line up with the evidence.
And as Fox 9 investigator Nathan O'Neill explains, this is just the latest case to fall apart.
These dramatic scenes in North Minneapolis erupted last month after a man was shot in the leg during an encounter with immigration officers. But the narrative laid out by the feds has now unraveled in federal court. Within hours of the shooting, the Department of Homeland Security posted this, claiming its officer was being ambushed.
So at 6:05, so I'm gonna read this entire thing for y'all. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but I'm gonna read it out for you. So it says, matter of fact, let me big the screen for y'all real quick. So it says at 6:50 p.m. CT Central Time, federal law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted traffic stop in Minneapolis of an illegal alien from Venezuela who was released into the country by Joe Biden in 2022. In an attempt to evade arrest, the subject fled the scene in his vehicle and crashed into a parked car. The subject then fled on foot. The law enforcement officer caught up to the subject on foot and attempted to apprehend him when the subject began to resist, violently assault the officer. While the subject and law enforcement were in a struggle on the ground, 2 subjects came out of a nearby apartment and also attacked the law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. As the officer was being ambushed and attacked by 2 individuals, the original subject got loose and began striking the officer with a shovel or broomstick. Fearing for his life and safety as he was being ambushed by 3 individuals, the officer fired a defensive shot to defend his life. The initial subject was hit in the leg. All 3 subjects ran back into the apartment and barricaded themselves inside. The attacked officer and subject are both in the hospital. Both attackers are in custody. This attack on another brave member of law enforcement took place while Minnesota's top leaders, Governor Walz and Mayor Frey, are actively encouraging and organized resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement officers. Their hateful rhetoric and resistance against men and women who are simply trying to do their jobs must end. Federal law enforcement officers are facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them as they put their lives on the line to arrest criminals and lawbreakers. Interesting. But here's my question though, y'all. Here's my ultimate question. Here's my ultimate question. Where's the video footage? Because see, now listen, I try my best to stay away from the conspiracy theories, but I gotta ask the question, where's the footage? We got footage immediately when it came to Renee Good. We got footage immediately when it came to Alex Pretty. Everything came within days, within hours. We got the body cam footage. We got people with their phones out. So you mean to tell me nobody got this footage? Nobody. Because see, now what I'm about to say is gonna look like I'm defending ICE and I'm defending this situation. But I gotta be objective in the things that I'm saying right now. So hear me clearly. If these officers are guilty, let me preface it. If these officers are guilty, these ICE agents are guilty, right? They need to go to jail. Right? So I'm gonna say that. However, they were quick to put out footage with Alex Pretty, Renee Good. Where's the footage? Now you're gonna lean down the path of believing these niggas are paid actors. They are going to lead me to believe that these motherfuckers were hired to try to frame ICE as the problem. So they need to come out with the footage. We need to see the body cam footage. We need to see anything that somebody may have had their phone out. Everybody always got their phone out at nighttime, midday, morning time. Everybody got their phone out and they're always recording. You telling me nobody got no footage? Nobody. Not one person. Listen, fam. I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. I was born, but I was not born yesterday.
And attacked by men with a shovel or broomstick. Prosecutors later filed criminal charges against Alejandro Alhorna and Julio Sosa Solis, initially accusing them of aiding and abetting and assaulting a federal officer. But nearly a month later, the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota asked a federal judge to dismiss the charges outright, saying newly discovered evidence, including surveillance video, is, quote, materially inconsistent with the allegations.
When somebody other than the agents has to look at evidence and decide whether an assault happened, in the vast majority of situations, they're deciding, no, there's no evidence of an assault.
It's the latest case to unravel as the Trump administration repeatedly claims that its immigration officers are under attack.
Officers have been violently and aggressively assaulted.
But the Fox 9 investigators reviewed more than 100 cases where people were arrested, accused of attacking an immigration officer, but we found most of them don't hold up. In many of those cases, federal prosecutors either declined to bring charges, those charges were later dismissed because of insufficient evidence, or they failed to convince a grand jury that there was a crime actually committed. And in one case, a federal judge in Chicago wrote that the government, quote, swung and missed multiple times.
We have a number of demonstrably false claims where judges have found that Homeland Security agents were making misrepresentations about assaults.
Back here in Minnesota, the defense attorneys representing those two men called the dismissal of those charges extraordinary. And their families welcomed the move, saying, quote, the charges against them were based on lies by an ICE agent who recklessly shot into their home through a closed door. The family is now calling for those ICE agents to be charged. For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Nathan O'Neill.
So Chad, let me ask y'all a question then. Do y'all think it's real? Do y'all think it's real? Or do you think they're paid actors to pretend as if they were ICE? I'm just saying, listen, I'm not saying I want to be clear about this. I'm very objective about this. Do you think that these are paid actors? We don't have video footage of the actual event. We don't have body cam footage. We don't have any recordings from any cameras from anybody who potentially had their phone out. We don't have any of that. Because if they are guilty, they need to go to jail. 110%. I'm talking about the ICE agents. If they are guilty of this, they need to go to jail. But if this is a setup to make it seem as if these are ICE agents, then that's a whole different conversation. So I'm gonna ask y'all, what do y'all think? I'm gonna leave it there. Just let me know. Let me know what y'all think about this. I'm curious to know. I am curious to know what it is that y'all think about this. Listen, I don't know. From the information I'm gathering here, I don't know. I'm going to be 110% honest with y'all. But hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And make sure you hit the bell notification. Yeah. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Listen, man, make sure you support the channel too. Make sure you tap into the super chats. Help your boy out by investing into the platform. All right. And if you haven't hit the like, please hit the like. It costs you nothing. Hit that like button. All right. So I want to go ahead and he said Timu Kevin Hart.
You hear what you're saying out loud, bro?
That's wild, bro. Timu Kevin Hart. What's up, D'Angelo? What's good with you, fam? What's good with you? That was funny. That's some funny shit right there. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a good one. That was a good one, Viper. All right, so look, let's go ahead and go over to this next topic, bro. I'm gonna go over to this next topic. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. There's this woman, and she is saying that she is making her first of all, her son just got a job. I think he is 16 or 17 years old. He got a job, and she is requiring him to pay $500 to rent. Now, before I play this video, I want to ask y'all a question. As a parent, right? Whether you're a single parent or you are, you guys, say you guys are a nuclear family, right? Would you require, if your kid gets a job, would you require your kid to pay a monthly bill, whether it's your phone, car insurance, whether it's their phone, car insurance, rent, whatever the case may be? Would you make your kid pay that? I'm curious to see. I want to know. All right, but I'm gonna let her say her piece, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions on it. All right, so let's rock out.
So my son has a job now, and I feel like he should help me around the house with the bills. So I told him starting February. I told him starting February 1st, he's gonna start paying $500 a month. And then he's gonna start paying his cell phone. I've been paying his cell phone since he had a cell phone since he was 7. You paid your phone bill like 2 times. Anyway, parents, do you think he should start paying rent? He feels like he don't have to pay rent. You want to give your part real fast?
I'm 17, bro. What am I paying rent for?
You can't stay nowhere for free. You
I
work.
know. When I'm 18, I'll figure that out.
No, you're gonna figure it out now. $500 a month. I don't care what he say. Either 500 or the door.
What? Let me play this video again. I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna break this down a little bit. Hold on. First and foremost, let me go ahead and start by saying this. No. 110% no. It's an absolute no for me. Right? I'm not doing that. If you've been paying your child, if you've been paying the bills this entire time, from the time that your kid was a youngin' to now, and you telling me you ain't got no pay increase, you ain't leveled up at your job, you ain't done anything, you ain't saved your money, you ain't done anything. And now all of a sudden you're requiring your child that you have been taking care of this entire time. You're requiring them to pay you $500 a month. And if they don't, you're going to kick them out. You're going to kick them out the house. Instead of, you like, you know what? I'm going to tell you, matter of fact, instead of you actually paying rent, I'm going to show you, because this is where it's critical for parents. This is where you should start learning how to invest your money properly, right? You think he should help Dr. Knockable? This is where it's important and critical as parents, right? This is where we have to be able to each one teach one, right? The things that we begin to learn, we have to teach our children, right? So if you are a parent and you start learning how to invest your money properly, not taking the old school way of just, hey man, put your money in the savings account, because guess what? You put your money in the traditional savings account, you're going to be losing more money than you actually are saving, right? So we can dive into that, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned in the comments, right? Oh, I got to pin them in the comments too. But let me do it right now while I'm thinking about it. Let me pin it in the comments. All right, there it is. Pin in the comments. But when you learn how to invest your money properly, now what you could do is teach him. Like, listen, you got a job now. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take a certain percentage, 10 to 20% of what you're making on your check, because you ain't got no bills, right? Take 10, 20% of your check and you invest that money. You invest that money so that way your money can compound over time by opening up a brokerage account. I go into detail about it in my ebook. Link is in the description as well as in the comments, right? Earn while you save. It teaches you this. So she could teach him how to invest his money. She been paying the bills this entire time. She don't need him to do that now. He could pay, he could take, if he got food that he wants to buy, yeah, cool. You got a percentage of that, cool. You go and buy your groceries that you can eat, so you ain't got to eat up all of mom's food when she go grocery shopping, so y'all make y'all food last a little bit longer. Cool, you can do that. But to actually require him to pay $500 a month, you out of your fucking mind. No, you ain't helping him. You're not helping him at all. You're setting him back. And then to give the ultimatum and saying that he gonna have to get up out of the house, you bugging. You bugging.
So my son has a job now, and I feel like
he's 17. He's 17. He's still a teenager. No, you're not required. You're not required to pay $500 a month. You're the parent. That ain't no fucking partnership. No. There's no every able body can help. No. You've made it this far. You don't need figure it out. No, figure it out. Yeah, he's still young, 17.
he should help me around the house with the bills. So I told him starting February. I told him starting February 1st, he's gonna start paying $500 a month.
This is crazy.
And then he's gonna start paying his cell phone. I've been paying his cell phone since he had a cell phone since he was 7. You paid your phone bill like 2 times. Anyway, parents, do you think he should start paying rent? He feels like he don't have to pay rent. You want to give your part real fast?
I'm 17, bro. What am I paying rent for?
You can't
Facts.
stay nowhere for free. You
I
work.
know. When I'm 18, I'll figure that out.
No,
I
you're gonna
gotta-
figure it out now. $500 a month. I don't care what he say, either 500 or the door.
$500 a month. Mind you, he's 17 years old, so that's probably his whole fucking paycheck. He ain't making a lot, bro. At 17, you ain't making a lot of money at the age of 17. What's the man? Let me see. So a teenage between weekly earnings, teenage between the ages of 16 to 19, 16 to 19 earning median of $648 per week, right? $648 per week, roughly 33,000. Mind you, that's not counting for taxes, health insurance. It's not counting for all. It's not accounting for none of that shit. So that 600 goes quickly down to about $300, $200, if that. And that's also depending on if they're working full time, if they're working part time. If they're working part time, you definitely ain't making a lot of money. You feel me? And you gonna make him pay $500? Apparently she don't need help. Here's the thing. I don't, you know what? I'm not gonna say what she does need or don't need because she didn't give us that information. But what I am gonna say is this: no, you've been doing it this long. Why you need help from him now? No, this is your child. This ain't your boyfriend. This ain't your husband. No, this ain't none of that. This ain't a friend. This ain't somebody that you decided to split the rent with. No, this is your child that you are responsible for. Absolutely not. No, it's a no. It's a 110% no. That money is your money. I'm going to teach you how to invest your money so that way you won't go out this bitch and just start spending your money all crazy, so you can actually understand how to save your money, because now you're only 17, but by the time you turn 30, you're going to have a stack of money just sitting in your account, and you're going to, of course, depending on if you go to college or you get a better job or you learn some different skills that's going to get you higher pay, you've already instilled and built this foundation on how to actually invest your money. Now, not to mention, you're going to have your 401ks, you're going to have your IRAs, you're going to have all of these different things that you can invest your money into. So now you stacking bread while you living below your means at the same time. You're living below your means at the same time while you stacking up this paper. And she up here worried about $500. Man, hell nah. Hell nah. She bugging. Hell, no, absolutely not. Mom, I don't care if you hear this video. No, you're 110% wrong. No, we got to do better as a Black community, bro. We got to do better, bro. We got to. This isn't that. Now, if he decides to do it out the kind of his heart, cool. Like, here, Mom, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give you $500, but I'm gonna throw you $100. I'm gonna throw you $100 ball. I'm gonna throw you 200 or some shit like that. I still wouldn't recommend it. And as a parent, you probably shouldn't. You're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take that, and you gonna take that money. You go invest it for him. You can do that. But to sit up here and say that you require this man to pay $500, this 17-year-old $500, or you gonna kick him out? That's crazy work, bro. You gotta do better. Moms, you gotta, man, some of y'all gotta do better, bro. Real talk. This shit is insane. This is insane. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Let's go to this next topic. I really want to see this one because this one was actually sent to me. And Shorty was saying, so let's preface this video. He pays the bills. He takes care of his kids. He shows up every single day. And she says he lacks ambition. So I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on it. All right? So let's rock out.
Man who is willing to take care of you, the kids, and the household, but has no ambition worth staying with.
When you say take care of, what do you mean?
He pays all the bills. He take care of the kids. He step in. How he do that with no ambition? No, he got money. I want more.
You know what?
And he's complacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
In the year when the job market is cooked, when the housing market is cooked, when people are walking away from their children, you got somebody at home that is paying your bills. He is taking care of you, and he is taking care of your kids, and you are figuring out, should I leave him? Are you cool? Unfortunately, figuring out, should I leave him? Are you cool?
Unfortunately, for a lot of men, there are so many women telling them you have to be more ambitious. And it's because they want the ambition to look like what they want it to look like. But his ambition is waking up every day and going to work, waking up every day and showing up for my children, showing up for my home. Like that's just as
fam. She don't give a fuck. She was going up there hoping that they was gonna co-sign that shit that she talking about. But now she getting all kinds of backlash, and she do not like that shit. Look at her face. Look at her face.
Like, but his ambition is waking up every day and going to.
Matter of fact, let me slow it down so y'all can see her face. Watch this. Let me slow it down for you. Look at her face.
Work, waking up every day and showing up for my children, showing up for.
Y'all see her face? She don't want to hear none of that shit. She want her shit co-signed.
My home, like that's just as ambitious. You know how ambitious you have to be when you are going through depression. Your girl is telling you you need to do more, and then you don't feel like you're good enough, but she don't know the mental and emotional and spiritual battles that you have and how you still trying to show up for your home. That's ambition, baby. Take a moment, read, I think it's 1 Timothy 5:8. Because what it talks about is a man who neglects his home is the same as a man who denies his faith. This man is taking care of his home. There is faith and grace in that. He is being provisional. He's still leading. So we have to acknowledge that, because if not, you're going to lose that. Like that's a gem, baby.
I make my own money. I make more than him.
You already see. All she's saying is she wants the lifestyle of, listen, I don't want to work. I want a man who makes a lot of money. He just take care of me. I just want to be in my soft era.
Shut up, bitch.
That's exactly what she asking for. Look at this bro. Look at her attitude. Look at her. I bet she be giving this man hell. I bet she be giving. Look at her face, bro. As she saying this, look at her face. Look.
You gonna lose that. Like that's a gem, baby.
I make my own money.
Look at the face. I guarantee you, she is a motherfucker to deal with at home.
I make more than him.
Look at it.
Right.
Look at that.
And you said he pays all the bills?
Yeah.
And you make more money?
Yeah.
He pays all. He paid all the bills. But the fact that he pays all the bills, and yet you say you just had to throw out there, but I make more money than him. So what? He's paying all the bills. He's paying all the bills. So what that you make more than him? You ain't helping. You're not paying for shit. I wonder, are they married? I guarantee they ain't married. I guarantee they aren't married. They can't be married. This is so stupid, bro. And then they think that men just be talking out the side of their necks when they talk about, listen, bro, I'm not doing shit for you. I'm not, listen, bro, you're gonna have, this is exactly why the question always comes out. What value do you bring? What are you bringing to the table? Because apparently your money don't matter because this man is paying all the bills and you make more than him and he's still paying all the bills. So what value are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table then? Because you still want me to be more ambitious, and the fact that I'm doing everything and it ain't enough. This that delusional shit. This the shit that we talk about. A lot of these women asking for more. You don't even realize you got some dope shit right there. You got the type of man that a lot of women would fucking crave for, that these women are out here asking for. You got it at home, but yet it ain't enough for you. Because you think in your head, in your delusion of mind, that you deserve more. And this is why a lot of men are divesting themselves from y'all ass. This is why men aren't marrying y'all. This is why a lot of men are going to the other side. That's why they going over there to Brittany. That's why they going over there to Maria. That's why they going over there to whoever the fuck else. That's why they going to the black chick who hangs around the white women. Listen, I'm gonna have the real conversation with y'all. This is a no fluff conversation because we tie everything in as long as we get back to the money. Listen, these women understand, right? These type of women, they don't understand. These are the type of women here. They think that they deserve the goddamn world, but they ain't giving nothing. They're not reciprocating any type of energy. But then they'll get mad with that same dude who goes over here on the other side of the fence and he gets appreciated and they leveling up in life. They're growing in life because what y'all don't understand is that when you are together, when you are with somebody, when you are married, you are 3 times more successful than you are by yourself. So instead of you actually telling this man that he needs to be more ambitious, how about you figure out a way to help you guys level up or find something that his strengths are in and something where you can help support that and invest in it. I'm pretty sure he got dreams and goals. I'm pretty sure there's something that he want to do, but he too focused on doing everything else, trying to make you happy, making sure the kids are good, being there, going to work, making sure the bills are all paid. While you sit on your back and I make more money than him, and you tune your nose up at him talking about, oh, you ain't ambitious enough. Bitch, you ain't doing nothing. The fuck are you talking about? What are you doing? Nothing. And then you come on these fucking platforms, you come out here to this fucking podcast, and now you up here talking shit about, man.
You mentioned that you make more money than him, and I want you to know that was not done by mistake. That was a systemic thing that was put into place so that the black woman can be elevated to start looking at their men like they're not doing enough. No. It is very
Boy, you get, listen, she went up that bitch. She thought she was finna get all kind of praise. She thought she was finna get a battery in her back to go ahead and leave her man. Nope. Backfired.
Intentional, the fact that you make more.
Look at her. Look how dismissive she is. She really think that what they're saying is off. She 110% thinks that what these women are saying and those men up there on that stage are saying are 110% wrong. Look at her face. Look at the dismissal. Come on, dog. She think just because she a little bit attractive, she think that she got something going. Like, I'm kind of cute and I make money too. I make my own money. My man need to be making more money than me. You know, he pay all the bills. He take care of the kids. He do this, that, and the third. But I still need him to be ambitious. I need him to be ambitious. Clock that shit. Man, you better sit the fuck down and take what you can get.
Money, and even though your man is showing up for you, you start looking at him for like, why can't you do more?
The fact that this man is covering the bills, even though he knows you make more, Let me tell you what he's doing. This man is willing to maybe put things on pause so that you can elevate. Think about it. What you make becomes almost just yours. What you choose to do, you have the freedom to pivot and pivot and pivot. Try this, go to school, because this man is saying, I'm going to sacrifice and take care of the foundational things so that you can have a choice whether or not you want to work or not. And so when you saying that man lacked ambition, I just think it's ambition in a direction you can't recognize.
Hey, listen, I normally don't even agree with a lot of shit that tonight's conversation come with, but they were cooking on this one. I gotta call it. I gotta call a spade a spade. I gotta call a spade a spade, right? I'm very objective when it comes to situations like this. And so this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. We hear this shit consistently on these platforms, dog. A lot of these women, oh, I need my man to make this kind of much money. I need him. He ain't no real man if he ain't making X amount of dollars. What are you talking about? That man's still a man at the end of the day. Now, am I a firm believer of, listen, bro, if you ain't where you want to be, you should work to get there. You should strive to. That should be a goal that you want to reach, right? There should be a financial goal that every man should want to reach. Whether it's, I would say you should want to, if you aren't there yet, you should want to be anywhere between the mid-low six figures, mid six figures to high to even more. You need to be there. If you ain't there yet, figure out a way that you can get there. There's many ways that you can do it, because we're going to dive into the money a little bit later on in this live stream, but there's many ways to do it. But if you're handling your business, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, and you taking care of home, you taking care of the kids, you taking care of your woman, you paying the bills, you're doing this, that, and the third, and then you got a woman like this that's over here looking at you, tooting her nose up at you because she make a little bit more than you and she thinks she better than you? The fuck is that shit, bro? What is that? And I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to stop cursing too. But still, though, this is crazy, man. Decent looking woman, but she think that she deserves more. Shorty, you got the best. You got the best. You make a little bit more. Cool. A lot of these women out here talking about there ain't no good men out here. You got one at home. You got one. You make more than him, and this nigga still pay. He's still taking care of all the bills, and you make more than him. But you want more. Oh, that ain't enough for me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you to say that you deserve more than what you got already? Who are you? What have you contributed to this world? What have you contributed to people to make you believe and think that you deserve more? What work have you put in? What have you sacrificed for that man? What have you what dreams and goals have you put aside in order for him to do the things that he need to do? What have you done? Because what it sounds like for me is he's putting a lot of things on the back burner for you to make sure that you can go out here and do whatever it is that you need to go do and handle your business while he take care of home and pay the bills on top of that and take care of the kids on top of that. But yet here you are on a microphone in front of thousands of people, thousands or hundreds, however many people that be having at that shit, talking this crazy shit. I hope he don't see this. I don't. I really hope he don't come across this video. I really hope he don't. I don't. Sad, bro. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Hey, make sure you guys support the platform. Make sure you tap into super chats, my dogs, my friends, my family. Anything helps. I'm not begging for it, but I also want to make sure that it's always appreciated. And I would love for y'all to invest in the platform. It is what it is. All right, so let's go to what we got next. Speaking of, do I want to talk about this one? Nah, I don't think I even want to talk. I don't think I even want to talk about it because I mean we kind of just touched on it, so I don't want to go. I don't want to be a broken record, so I'll skip past truth. We can go over here to this one. We can skip past truth. We can skip past truth, dog. We can talk about the ABC community. We can talk about the ABC community. Yeah, this would be a good one. This would be a good one. So let's go ahead and dive into this topic. Let's go ahead and dive into this one. We got LGBTQ women. You know, let's just say, I'm just gonna say, I ain't gonna say women, I'm gonna say community. Because there's some that's on this video that aren't women. I gotta call it for what it is, bro. I'm not gonna point it out, but y'all gonna see. Versus former LGBTQ plus community women. Former, right? Means in the past for those of y'all who don't know that. And so, of course, they're gonna have a debate on Dr. Daff's show. Shout out to Dr. Daff. She cooking it up out here. Dr. Daff cooking it up. And so they're gonna have a conversation in regards to you can't really leave the ABC community. So I want to see what they got to say about that, and then I'll give my thoughts and opinions in between. So let's go ahead and let's rock out, my dog.
And the first prompt is, you can't really leave the LGBTQ plus community. Okay, anyone can share.
The way I see it when it comes to like leaving, I do think.
Hey, first and foremost, that's not a woman. I'm just gotta put that out there right here. That's not a woman. I think I did a video a while ago, and this person, Chrissy, they actually responded to one of my videos. But hey, I gotta call it spade a spade. Listen, you know what it is, so I'm gonna call it out. You know, if it's the truth, then it shouldn't bother you, because you know you ain't a woman. Let's keep it clear. If you were born, this is not hate. I want to be clear. I'm not gonna stick to this point. I'm just gonna say it, and I'm gonna call it spade a spade, so you know where I stand. This ain't hate. This isn't me going against. This ain't hate. I'm just gonna say it. This ain't hate. You're not a woman. I call it for what it is. You're not a woman, and that's all I'm gonna say. Let's get back to the video.
You can technically leave, as in you're not a part of it, but talking with a lot of different people, and maybe this is not to be others' experience here, but they still struggle with those thoughts, and even like leaving, it's a very conscious action, and it's one that you have to take with a lot of strength. And so I guess if you mean leave as in like disidentify, yeah, you can do that, but I think those thoughts and those feelings never actually leave.
I think what we're talking about is a difference with orientation and identity. I understand that, some of us will have those struggles with same-sex attraction for the rest of our lives, and then some will never even identify. So yeah, for sure, I think you could leave the identity of LGBTQ and still struggle with same-sex attraction. But like, as for myself, I left the identity and I became a woman of God, a Christian.
I didn't know how to answer that, but yeah, like, and the question, it was community, right? Like the LGBT community. So I think like, even though I don't identify as like queer anymore, I do still have queer thoughts. So I do feel like I'm still a part of the community in that way.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you mean by like leaving the community, not to be like super pedantic about it, but like there's like, you can always leave, but dealing with those thoughts and dealing with like, I mean, for you, I'm sure it feels like a struggle in a sense.
Not
but
really.
Like,
it's just something that I do observe.
Yeah. But it's like you still have, even if you don't identify as it, I think like the important part of like calling it a community is that there's people who have similar traits who are treated a specific way in society because of those traits. And like when you leave, like I'm sure you identify as a straight woman, like you're not treated in the world as an LGBTQ member.
you're not treated that way anymore. Whereas like if you were in those communities and in those spaces, like you're not a part of that anymore. You don't experience that, but you still have, I'm sure in the past, experienced what it's like to be in those communities and the discrimination that comes along with that, I'm sure.
Not necessarily, because I was never really involved in the LGBTQ. I never wore Pride. I never went to Pride. I never did and where I'm
You're
from.
never super open.
So yeah, I wasn't. And then maybe I dabbled with it a little bit. I'm sure people speculated I was open enough to the fact that I was doing things that people were like.
Oh, so basically, translation was there was a point in time where she had to experiment. She had to experiment the other side. Yeah. She had to experiment the other side. She got the University of Houston on her shirt, on her chest. You know what I'm saying? So went to college, had fun, hot girl summer, experienced some shit, drunk parties, little kissy here, touchy there, feely there, licky there.
You hear what you're saying out loud, brother?
So yeah. That's what she's saying. So I don't think she ever fully crossed the fence. She might say that she did later in this video, but as of right now, it don't seem like she ever fully crossed the fence. She just put a leg over that bitch and was like, this is cool, this straight, but I don't think I'm gonna be here forever.
Drawing their own, but I never actually came out as bi or gay or anything like that.
Because I think for you, that's probably pretty easy. You look straight. I'll be honest, you look straight.
Which is fine. I think some people tell me I still get gay vibes.
Really? That's crazy. So. I think the thing is we can pretend okay, people in the LGBTQ plus community just look like everybody else. That's not true. I don't like to pretend like that's true. There's people.
That's cap. You can point. Listen, first of all, you can point a liberal out any day. You can point a liberal out. For the most part, you will be. I'm going to give it 80% of the time. 8 out of 10 times you can point a liberal out. 8 out of 10 times you can point one out. Spotted tattoos, like purple hair right here. Spotted tattoos, that's one giveaway. Septum nose rings, that's another giveaway. 70s vibe type haircuts, like shorty right here who talking, dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. Them type of haircuts, dead giveaway. Big jeans, Vans, something along the words of anything that's dealing with colorful pride type shirts. Oh, you could point them out 1000%. Now there are some they hide it well. You like, oh, I ain't even know. But a lot of the times, because a lot of them they really want to be open with it, they want to be very expressive with their sexuality. So they're gonna show it, and you can easily point them out. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So yes, they are. Yes, you are. You are easily noticeable, for sure.
People who walked in, and immediately I had the thought, you're on my side. You kind of look like, maybe you look like this, but in my head, I immediately, and I think we all do that. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's how you treat people afterwards, after you make that assumption about them. And so I think, for you, it might be different because you left and that is your decision. And you probably still get treated pretty similar to how you've always been treated.
I don't know. I don't know that I would agree with that I get treated with how I've always been treated. I don't know right now.
So do you feel like you've been treated better, or I don't understand?
I feel like I get treated poorly by both sides, and maybe that's why I have empathy for both sides.
So you feel like you're treated poorly on the straight side because you're a woman, or do you feel like you're treated poorly on the gay side because?
I don't know how to answer that. I just want to say that I don't really ever. I when I first was gay, I guess I wasn't. It was because people had told me I looked like a boy. I had been misgendered, and there was multiple things happening. So it that shaped my identity to begin with. So I would associate that with a negative because it made me feel like I was not being right, if that makes sense.
So you felt dysphoric about it?
Yes.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I was treated poorly by any community necessarily. I would just experience that with like, it felt negative.
Interesting.
But I don't associate that with why I ended up like in a homosexual relationship. I feel like I was with another person that had probably had similar experiences. So I feel like my homosexual relationships were more about genuine human compatibility, which is probably where I'd relate to you more, just like human connection. And it doesn't really matter about gender. It's just like we understand each other or we don't. But I feel like I've probably experienced more prejudice from the heterosexual community actually for my sexuality. And because I'm just in general, I express my sexuality more so, whether that's hetero or homo. It's just, I and that probably has a lot to do with where I'm from too, like being from Texas. It was more shameful to be sexual at all.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you can just look at someone and tell that they're in the community, but speaking of what she's saying, what if you're wrong? And I have known people where they were not, and they were assumed to be, and that actually affected them greatly.
I mean, that's kind of like the same way as like being wrong about if someone, speaks English on the street. Like I can walk up to anyone on the street and ask them for directions. But like if I'm just wrong and they don't speak English and I just go about my way, I say sorry. And I think for some people that will be hurtful. And I don't know why it would be hurtful to be assumed to be a part of the community. I think it's important for people who are part of communities to have ways to identify each other. And I think for a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community, part of that identity comes along with being more open, more expressive, more, not to say straight people aren't artistic, but a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community are more open about like their creative sides. And I think that shows. And I don't think there's anything wrong with making assumptions.
Hurtful to me. It hurts me a lot, especially because I'm a model and I'm a rave DJ. Like people ask me what my fucking pronouns are all the time. And
it's hurtful to ask your pronouns?
That's what she's saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like annoying to have to.
Yeah, I figured. I knew. Shout out the Matrix. Shout out the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? I did a content piece on her Wednesday. Did a content piece on her Wednesday, and then I clipped up one of her videos on TikTok and Instagram. It's doing numbers right now on Instagram. So yeah, it's doing numbers. Shout out to her. I figured she was a former ABC community. You know what I'm saying? I figured that for the most part.
I don't know. I feel like I should let you know rather than be asked because our piercings match or because I have tattoos or because I do something that inspires you or you're interested in something that I'm interested in or something. I just, like, I've worked so hard to get to this age where I love who I am as a woman and stuff. I don't feel like I need to explain that.
And
so
is asking for pronouns making you
it's not like, let's not reduce it to just the pronoun.
Not her getting triggered already. That's one thing about them liberals, boy. They get triggered fast, boy.
It's like, even my sexuality, obviously people think I'm like lesbian. Women find me attractive. That's kind of why I even fell into it in the first place. And I did love like my exes too, like there were real genuine emotions. I thought I was going to live with them forever. Like I thought happily ever after and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, especially now that I have a husband, and I have so much respect for him, like, and for myself, like, I feel like, if you're non-binary or a lesbian or, whatever, like, you can communicate that. And like, we shouldn't put that on everybody all the time,
What do you mean put it on?
Oh yeah, because people come to me all the time and ask me. And I feel like, why are you asking me?
It's just weird.
And I kind of want to say, I get what you're saying, like completely. Like, maybe not in the exact same way, but like when someone asks me, like, "Oh, what are your pronouns?" Like
right.
To me, what I hear is, "Oh, you clocked me."
Right.
Oh,
right.
you like clocked me.
It's on both sides. Like, it's not about, oh, I have a problem with being non-binary. It's like, because I'm not, it bothers me. And if I was non-binary and someone said she, her, that would bother me too. Like it's on both sides. And I think like just allow people to say it instead of assuming everyone is just like you because you see something of yourself in them. And like, that's the problem for me.
If we're going to be very honest, people don't ask everyone their pronouns. Like some people will say, "Oh, well, I ask everyone." It's like, no,
right.
you don't.
Exactly. They ask people everyone. Who they think. And that's what I'm like. I know what I look like. I know I look androgynous,
I believe there's
So-
a culture that's being formed in regard to this, that the pronouns and titles and identities are becoming above even seeing and hearing somebody. And so it was almost like this pendulum swing where it's like, can you please ask me how I identify? Or like, hey, please just let me be. And so it's like gotten pretty extreme. Like even for me, the intimidation of having this conversation was, man, I hope I get the language right. But most of all, I hope you hear my heart and I hope you see my heart. And that was my.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like we've confused shit so much to the point where you got all of these different names, these constructs of gender and oh well, I'm non-binary and I'm this, that, and the third. I'm like, I'm a pansexual, all this extra shit, bro. So listen, man. Listen, bro. Let's not make shit more complicated than it already is, right? You are a woman that has transformed into a man. You are a man that has transformed into a woman. You are a T-girl or a T-boy. Keep it simple. You were once a girl. You were born a girl. Now you decided to, somewhere in your brain, you decided to say, you know what? I think God made a mistake, even though God don't make mistakes. You think God made a mistake and you were supposed to be a boy. And you were born a girl. I don't see a mistake. Same thing goes as the boy. Well, I was born a boy, but I think God made a mistake. God don't make mistakes, and I'm supposed to be a girl. Listen, bro. Listen, fam. Keep that shit. Keep shit simple. I can look at you and tell. If I can look at you and tell what you are, you just got to understand that. Just as you would want me to respect it, you got to respect the fact of like, listen, bro, I know what you are. I'm not finna call you a her because you ain't a her. I know a lot of she's. I know a lot of women, biological women. I call them she's. I call them hers. I call her, she's and she's. I'm not finna call you that's a he. I'm not finna call you a she, bro. Like just get over that shit. You know what it is. You know what it was when you decided to transition. You knew what it was. Don't put that burden on me. You decided to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. You decided to. So you can't get mad at me. You cannot get mad at me because you decided to make the choice to transform yourself into something that you were not born. That's not a hate speech, bro. That's just calling it what it is. That's just calling a spade a spade. I can't call this phone a cup just because I deem it as a cup. It's not a cup, it's a phone. It's a cellular device that I use to contact people, to post shit, to take pictures. That's what this is. It's not a cup, regardless of how much I want to. Regardless of how much I want to say, bro, this is a fucking cup, bro. You can't tell me this ain't a cup because I believe it's a cup. Because it's my truth. No, nigga, it ain't my truth. The truth is, it's a phone. It's a cellular device. This is a cup. This is a cup. And so you can't get mad. You can't sit up here and get mad at me when I see some shit and you're gonna try to tell me and gaslight me and tell me that you're something that I know that you're not. No, we're not doing that. And it's not hate. It's not. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care if it pierces your heart. If it pierces your heart, that means you need to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I need to relax. I chose this lifestyle. I chose to move this way. So I can't be mad at somebody else because they see me as who I actually am and how I was born. I can't blame them for that. I can't tell them what not to see. I can't pull the veil over their eyes. They know what I am. So I can't be mad at them for that. And you got to be strong enough and confident in yourself as the person who decided to transition. You need to be confident in yourself enough to know, like, listen, I know what I am. I know what I was born as, but I decided to be this. Cool. I got more respect for you than the person who gonna sit here and try to gaslight me and tell me that they are a girl with knowing damn well that you ain't a girl. And you gonna go back and forth with me and argue with me and tell me that I'm crazy? Nah.
Biggest thing, because I see you and I want to know you. And I've been waiting for this moment to talk to the LGBTQ community, which I lived majority of my life in. And so I think that like what you're addressing is the way it's made you feel. And I love to hear how it's made you feel. But sometimes I have this intimidation of, man, if I don't identify them the right way, it seems hateful, and that's not like my heart. And so I
don't think you're hateful. I think you called me she, her a few times, but I don't
see what I'm saying. Like, you call me she, her. Nigga, you are a she. What are you talking about? You're nothing else. You're not a dog. You're not a cat. You're not a lizard. You're not a dinosaur. You're a fucking woman. You are a fucking woman. You have ovaries. That's how you were born. That's how God created you. That's how God made you. Stop this bullshit. Stop. There's a clear difference between you and that black man sitting right beside you. There's a clear difference. There's a clear difference between the two. There is no, oh, let me take a second look. No, there's a clear difference between y'all two. You are a she. You are a her. I don't care what you identify as. You can identify as a fucking cloud if you want to. You are a girl. Don't gaslight.
The problem is, like, you don't get upset when people assume you're a woman. And I think that you probably, everyone here you assumed was also a woman, which I think the title of the video includes like the name woman or something like that. But you don't get upset at those assumptions. You assume everyone else here is a woman. You call everyone else she, her. But like, I feel like if someone just corrects you, then that's fine. I wouldn't get offended ever if someone
offended or don't get offended. I don't like,
but
that has nothing to do with me.
I'm confused what's offending.
I think I already addressed it.
I think it really boils down to intent, because I have been on people were like, oh, what are your pronouns? And I'd be like, what you mean? Like, obviously, like, it's she and her. But then I'm like, people are like, well, no, because, you know, your voice is deeper, or you have these features. And
What you mean?
I was able to tell you really
what you mean? Obviously, just because you in the costume, that don't make you that. When you look behind the curtain, it's like, oh, you ain't that. You pretending to be that. And I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you live your life. I don't care. Listen, I don't. I really don't. I really don't. Live your life how you want to live it. That's between you and God. But what you're not about to do is tell me that you're something that you're not. You're not going to do that.
It goes down to intent, because I have been on people were like, oh, what are your pronouns? And I'd be like, what you mean? Like, obviously, like, it's she and her. But then I'm like, people are like, well, no, because, you know, your voice is deeper, or you have these features. And I was able to tell you were trans. I didn't mean to offend you. I just wanted to make sure I respected you. So I think it's all about intent.
Yes.
So I don't think pronouns, because like you said, you are aware that you look more androgynous. So some people may think you're going to be on this side, but now you're on this side. Find a better way to respect you. So I feel like sometimes you just have to see the intent.
I can see the intent too.
Okay,
like, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I can tell when somebody's like genuinely curious, because even like a younger like teen or something asking me and they're like inspired, like that's happened. I can tell when someone's like genuinely curious versus like someone insulting me and calling me trans as an insult. Like, people have done that.
Does that offend
There's
you?
a difference when someone's coming and asking me, hey, are you trans? Versus like telling me I am because I said I left the LGBT community. Because that's happened before. I've shared my story online. People have insulted me. It's like, oh, well, you look like a lesbian. You don't know what you are. And they do that too. So it's like both sides. You know what I mean? It's, even if I was on the LGBT community, like, let's say someone assumed I was straight or something, like, I feel like that would be equally offensive if you're like living a certain lifestyle, you see yourself as a certain way, your peers see you as a certain way, and then like people are constantly like harassing you, thinking because you're overly feminine or whatever, that they think you're something that you don't think you are. And I don't have to deal with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but we also gotta navigate in the way that the world is. So we know,
right?
We know the
binary.
norms. We know the norms, and we know that what's going on today is people ask pronouns because people are becoming more socially aware of trans people, non-binary people. So sometimes it's just the way the world is right now. Even though we don't have a perfect society yet that can coddle what we're feeling, it's just like, it is what it is right now. Because some people are gonna be like,
there you go, coddle. No. 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 I'm just gonna start saying the Sodom and Gomorrah. No. We're coming into a society where right is wrong and wrong is right. No. Not finna sit up here and coddle you, in your feelings, because you made a choice of what you are. You made a choice. You can choose what religion you want to be. You can choose what side of the aisle you're on when it comes to politics. You can choose where you go to school. You can choose what you decide to do for work. You can choose where you want to live. You can choose what car you want to drive. You can choose the type of house you want to live in, the type of money you make. You can choose all of these different things. But one thing that you can't choose is your biological makeup. You can't choose that. That is not of your choosing. You can never choose that. You cannot choose your biological makeup. You can't choose your skin tone. You can't choose your eyes. You can't choose your legs, how your legs look. You can't choose none of that shit. You can't choose it. You can't choose that. You can't choose the way that you were born. Can't choose none of it. So you're not going to sit up here. And again, I'm going to continue to keep prefacing this. This is not hate, but I'm calling for what it is. You're not what you're claiming yourself to be. You're not that. You were not born with the uterus. You have an Adam's apple. My guy, you have an Adam's apple. That what you got in that shirt, that's not real. That's a facade. You're not a woman. The one next to you, she's a woman, but she claims to be something else. No, you are a woman, and the woman that's next to her, she's a woman. Cool. If you listen, I'm not gonna sit here and agree with you and say, hey man, live your life how you want to. Listen, bro. At the end of the day, it's between you and God. I'm gonna treat you with the utmost respect as a human being. I'm gonna give you that respect. I'm not gonna disrespect you just to disrespect you. But what you're not gonna do is sit up here and tell me what I don't see. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me that, hey, bro, the clouds are red. No, it's not. They're white. No, bro, it's actually red. No, it's not. It's white. You're not gonna sit here and tell me what the color of the clouds are when I can clearly see what the color it is. You're not gonna do that. But I'm gonna let it keep playing.
You're still a man. I'll be like, and that's your opinion. But you know,
I'm with you.
It's not an opinion.
yeah.
It's not an opinion. That's a fact. It's not an opinion. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. That's a fact. When you take let me stop. Let me just.
I'm like, so it's just. But I mean, I get what you're saying.
I get to decide whether I want to opt in or opt out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm here.
I think it's a projection that we put on each other. Like, you know, you mentioned earlier, like we should be able to tell, or I can tell.
I didn't say should, but.
Okay, yeah. And so it's like, oh, you could tell. And I think the assumption and also the projection could be like, it's a sensitive thing. And so it's like, even like, you know, addressing and communicating and having relationship with LGBTQ, I'm trying to avoid projecting and I'm trying to avoid the assumption. And it's like, I want to see you and hear from you. And in regards to language, like I'm learning too. And as culture evolves, society evolves, the language continues on to shift. And it has become confusing. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm like, I'm kind of confused of who's what and what's who. But know my heart, like I just literally don't know. And so I just hope they can hear my heart, because if I say something wrong, it might be like hateful and then they're offended. And it's just like this high sensitivity of offense.
But that's when asking questions come in.
Yeah. And so I love you sharing that earlier.
I don't need to ask you questions. I see you, bro. I see what you are. You're not. I see what you are, man. I don't need to ask you a question. I know what you are. I don't got to ask a question. I know what you are. You're a dude. And you can't sit up here and say that. You can't sit up here and say that this is hate. I'm just calling the truth. So you telling me the truth is hate? You telling me the truth is hate? You telling me that because I sit up here and tell you, I sit up here and tell you that you're not about to tell me what I don't see. That I can clearly see that you are one, that you are a man. And you're going to sit up here and tell me that I'm wrong. When we can easily do a polygraph test. We can go back to your birth certificate. and see what what it says on your birth certificate, what you were born as, to see all of those things. It's a biological fact. You are a male. I don't need to ask a question. I know what you are already. There's a clear distinction between the two. Now, there are some women who have certain features. You're like, kind of questionable. Are you a man? Some people, you got to ask that question. And it's a genuine question. It's like, I don't know. Because some women do have stronger features. It happens. But that's genuine. That's a genuine, like, hey, man, listen, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but are you a man or a woman? Because I want to make sure, oh, you're a woman. Okay, listen, I'm sorry, but I was just curious. I bet. We move on about our day. But you, I know you a man. Not Matrix. Not Matrix. I'm talking about the
so, just talk to me about it. And I love that. Like, hey, let's just talk. And like earlier we got to talk and we've had great conversations. And so I am so thankful for us to have this talk, because I think it brings clarity, just because of the culture and society that's evolving is not in a place of love and respect. It's in a place of assumption, projection, and as well as you need to affirm my belief system. And that's not the right heart posture. I believe that we all are not for,
And the next prompt is gender.
Yeah, they can all miss me with that one. You can miss me with all of that. No. I'm not going for it. I'm not going. I don't care how you feel about it. You can be mad at me. Don't care. I'm not going for it. I'm not. Call it for what it is, bro. But hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Be sure to tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned in the comments. Also, if you haven't supported the Super Chat, be sure to do so, y'all. Be sure to do so. Let your boy know that you're really rocking with him. Or if you want to send one in the Cash App, link is in the description as well. All right. So I want to go over here to Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels in the room 9 with Island Q. So Shampoo and goddamn Mimi, apparently they went back and forth. They went back and forth on the situation. Not sure what the topic is about. I just saw the title. I said, Mimi, because Mimi, she came onto our into the Banter and Barter show. Shout out to Mimi. She dope as hell. I rock with Mimi. She's dope. She feisty as hell. That's for sure. She feisty as hell. Sometimes she'll be going to Universe 7 sometimes, but hey, she cool people though. Our folks with her. So her and Shampoo were going back at it, and basically the topic was, man had 7 kids from 6 baby mamas, but why? So we gonna see what the heat is about between Shampoo and Mimi, then I'll give my thoughts and opinions. All right, so let's go ahead and rock out.
To say I'm gonna buy you a house that's right next to
my daddy didn't buy me a house down the street.
What?
How you know my daddy didn't buy me a house down the street?
Because a person that teaches his daughter to fix a car is not able to buy a house for somebody.
You's a motherfucking lie.
That's the truth. Now, goddamn, you want to hear the truth? That's the truth.
You don't know what you talking about.
That's I do.
You just talk just.
You think I would let my son mow the fucking lawn? You think I would say, you going out there and mow that lawn, you 14, you should know how to mow. I don't talk that nigga shit.
You know what? Toupee was right. You are the problem.
That's that nigga
you are the
shit.
problem. You are the problem.
I got
you are the problem.
Goddamn landscaper.
You
all
are
right,
the
he puts the lines in the lawn. The lines.
Okay, you got so much.
Which way you want the line this today, Mr. Copper? You want it that way or this way? That way or this way? Put it this way this week, nigga. Put it this way, Manuel. Put it this way.
Please take his ass out.
Put it this way next Thursday.
Put your ass to bed. Where's Miss Conditioner? She needs to
never told me to fix no goddamn car.
You need to go to bed. It's past your bedtime. Go to bed.
Mother and father had Mercedes. Both of them.
Well, mine are still here, so I don't worry about what my parents.
I had maids growing up. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
But you so hood though. You always talk about how
no matter how I am. I'm telling you the truth.
You the fakest person on this panel.
Yeah,
All you talking
ain't
about
nothing
how
fake
good you
about me.
are, and you always running telling Aaliyah that because she's from Brooklyn and this and New York and this. But now you had maids. Now you had maids and now you have Mercedes.
She didn't mind.
You so phony.
She didn't mind. Yo, you sticking up for her.
You the phoniest person on this panel.
So me phony?
Phony.
I'm the most realest nigga you ever gonna meet.
You right. It's gone. Yep, you right, because you did tell us that you smoke crack. That's some real shit right there.
Okay, that's real. I kept it real with you. Now tell us what you do.
I bet you
last time.
Ooh, wee.
You suck somebody's dick. When the last time you sucked somebody's dick?
Cracking no rich ass
When
neighborhood.
the last time did you suck somebody's dick?
Don't worry about it.
No, I told you when I smoked.
It wasn't yours. It wasn't yours. You got the same jokes every week.
When did you choke? When did you choke? When did you choke?
You need to get some new jokes, Sharon.
When did you choke? Everything about me is new, except my age. Everything about me is new.
You always got something
These
to say
are
about me.
Versace's. They're brand new. I'm old, but they're new.
You probably bought them on the
I'm
corner.
old, but they're new.
Down in New York City. We know everybody knows where to get some fake Versace's. Prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it.
My car got 6,000 miles on it.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I don't know how to fix no
Nobody cares. You still ugly.
No,
so
I
what?
don't know how to change the
still ugly. Yeah, and you're ugly.
I don't know how to
You're rich
change the
and you're
tire.
ugly. You're rich and ugly.
No, let me tell you a secret. People call you what the opposite of you are.
I promise you, ain't nothing ugly on
That's
me.
what a nigga when a girl argue with a nigga, they say you got a little dick.
You,
got a
but
big
you,
dick.
you got that. You ugly as fuck.
What you talking about?
Ugly, ugly. All right.
Bruh.
Putting on Vaseline.
Bruh, they go. Listen, this ain't their first time either, bro. They be going the fuck at it, dog. They be going the fuck at it, bro. What the hell?
You ain't black.
What?
You heard me. Use lotion like y'all do.
The only
Use
reason I
lotion
put
like
Vaseline
y'all
on
do.
my face is when I'm getting ready to fight a dumb motherfucker like you. Don't worry about what I am. You don't worry about what I am. Don't worry about what I am. I'll let you know what I am when I see you.
You should have looked at your father and say, "Don't I look like a girl to you, nigga?
Don't worry.
Why you got me fixing the truck?"
Listen, we want to put on a show. We can give them a show. We can give them a show.
It's
What
been
you're
a show.
not going to do is keep talking shit about my mother.
Listen, at the end of the day, you can't beat me. At the end of the day, you can't
I
beat
wouldn't want to because I don't want to go to jail for elder abuse.
Just remember that. You can't
Don't worry
beat
about
me.
it. Don't worry about it. I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about
You
you. Still
can't
ugly.
beat me.
You're still ugly. I can beat you in a
beat
beauty
me.
contest.
You
ugly
can't
motherfucker.
beat me.
I promise you
My
that.
eyebrows is better than yours.
Whatever.
My eyebrows is better. Put yours
Because
in
you
the
get them
camera.
threaded because you're gay.
And you gonna wipe yours off
You
before
get
you
them
go to
threaded.
bed.
Promise
You
you,
gonna wipe yours
these
off.
don't wipe off.
You gonna wipe
Okay?
yours off. You gonna wipe yours off.
Serious
Some of it's
today,
gonna
but
wipe
that was
off.
crazy.
I'm not
That was
feeding.
crazy.
I'm not feeding. I'm not
Okay.
feeding.
Wipe off. You're gonna be
I
stopping right
can't
there.
wait to see
You're
this
gonna
stop
stop there.
tomorrow. Keep talking. Keep talking. Because that's all you doing is you just trying to make a clip. That's all you good. That's all you good for. That's all you good for. Come on over here so people can watch it. They don't watch
For
you
me
on your
like
show.
that. I don't give a fuck if it's my wife. I don't
They
let
don't
no
watch you on your show. They
talk to
watch
me
you over
like
here
that.
though.
you talking
Listen,
about?
you ain't my daddy. You heard what I
You can
said.
headbutt me, but I
You
got damn
heard
it,
what
I
I
get the best
said.
of you.
That's right. Don't get it clipped
Yeah.
up. Don't get it clipped up.
Yeah.
Right. Don't
Yeah.
get them views over here because you damn sure don't get them
I don't
over
give
there.
a damn about no views.
Oh yeah, you do. That's why you're here.
When do I do? Why?
Yeah, you
Why
do.
would I care
That's
about
why
that?
you're here. Keep on. Y'all going over there to Ash Shampoo show. So
Mimi, I'm gonna let you come back on next week if you're good.
You don't decide who comes on
I
this
could
show.
end your tenure. I could end your tenure.
Do it then. Go ahead. Do it.
All right.
I dare you.
All
I
right.
dare you.
I already talked to Anton. I said, man, she getting a little loose with the lips. You might sit her down for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Sit this bitch down. Sit this bitch down.
Shampoo funny as fuck.
Anton nice. He be like, let's sit that bitch down.
I don't know why you sitting up here talking all this shit and you know you love me. I don't know why you doing it.
I do love you, but I gotta talk to you like that
So be quiet.
sometimes.
Shut up for a change. Be quiet.
You love me too.
I I do. So shut up.
If I was single, you'd be choking.
No, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that.
I can't put it all in.
I don't know about all that. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up.
Bro, you crazy as fuck, bro.
Y'all don't hype shampoo up. Shampoo
I
is
thought this was a pickle. This is a goddamn
what?
This nigga dumb as hell, bro. I ain't got time for this dude.
Delusions of grandeur. That's what you.
No, ain't no delusion.
Delusions.
I'm packing, baby. I'm packing.
They call that they call that Alzheimer's, dementia.
No, I'm packing a good 6. But I got a hook on the end, like it go up. It'll go up in you. I'm up in you. It's for real.
Y'all is a mess.
So, when I go to the bathroom, I'll pull you with me because it's hooked up in there. While I'm peeing, you be laying by the toilet.
You just gotta let them get it out. You just gotta let them get it out.
I'm gonna pull it out.
Go ahead, get it all out. You got other things to talk about. Get it all out. Go ahead.
When I pull it out your ass, it'll go.
You're a mess.
Fuck is this nigga eating pop candy?
Lord.
Oh my God. Y'all motherfuckers make me laugh, man.
Y'all sound like a married couple.
Oh, hell
He
no.
loved me. That's why
I would never.
Like, you really need to stop
She's a
lying.
good friend, but she would never deserve this.
You really need to stop lying. That's what you need.
And don't tell that story about you fixing your father. Don't do that shit.
You don't worry about the stories I tell, okay?
They're gonna look down on you for
don't
that
worry
shit.
about it. I'm gonna tell a story about you if you don't shut the fuck up.
And they're gonna hold that shit till he get real mad at you. Say, didn't your father teach you how to fix trucks? Bitch. You be like, damn.
Excuse me.
What does he think you're gonna do with that? Be a mechanic? What did he get? Think about it right now. Like, why did my father teach me how to fix a truck?
In case I ended up with a lame ass man like you that couldn't help me fix it.
I would say, didn't you listen to your father? Get outside and fix that.
Oh, she turned it up too. Hey, listen, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Mimi cold, bro. Like, hey, she's solid. She'll get off in you, bro. Pause. She get off in you. That boy Shampoo boy, he be lighting the fire. I give it to him, bro. He's great for content. Anton made a smart move by hiring him. And bringing him on. You know what I mean? Even though he can do a little bit too much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes he be spot on, and he'll go to fucking, he'll entertain the bullshit. You know what I mean? So I fucks with it in that regard. You know what I'm saying, for the entertainment factor. But then you got Mimi too. She ain't gonna back down. Mimi, she is not gonna back down, bro. She is not. She's a motherfucker. She a motherfucker, bro. She a motherfucker.
Truck. We got where did y'all live at? Did y'all have a driveway or was it dirt?
We lived at your daddy's house. That's where we
Did
lived.
you ever have a brick driveway or was it tar or dirt? You couldn't even clean your car because it'll be mud around that shit.
This nigga stupid.
You really have to stop. You really need to stop letting people get high before they come on the show.
I'm gonna go wash the car and then it'll be all in mud because it wasn't no pavement. My car is dirty again. I just pulled it out the driveway.
You live to make Anton giggle.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, I could see your father washing his truck and it'd be mud because it was.
This nigga is insane.
Yo, he's stupid. He's
crazy.
I could see him.
How did we get here?
Your father was short.
Not short.
Did he get on a stool when he got in the truck, like to fix the engine? Like a step ladder?
I'm gonna let you keep going.
One of y'all was big bone. Did your mother or your father? Who was big bone?
I'm gonna let you keep going because I know it brings you joy. Okay.
No,
And
all right,
I know it
Let's
makes
see that one.
Antoine giggle, and you live to make Antoine giggle.
Come on. Don't
go ahead.
fantasize what
I'm
you
gonna
think
let
is
you have it
happening.
because
Don't
honestly,
fantasize.
you're not as funny as you think you are.
All right, I'm not trying to be funny.
You are trying to be funny. You really not as funny as you think
I'm talking to you.
You're not talking to me.
If you the joke, then let's laugh.
You're talking to yourself and to
You
your
must
audience.
be the joke.
Listen,
if I'm talking to somebody and I'm making somebody laugh, you the joke.
I'm gonna let you keep going. That's fine. I'll be the joke tonight.
That's all right.
I'll be the joke tonight.
You're gonna be the joke tomorrow too.
What was we talking about before this?
You to be the joke. I ain't gotta be around you. You gonna walk around being the joke.
What was we talking about before? How did we get here?
The 7 kids.
Oh, to a trust.
Shit.
And we was talking about
how women are dumb that sleep with him.
No, I don't.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that women are dumb. Honestly, I think that women are just women. I just think that that's just who y'all are. Y'all don't have no
naive. Is a good word.
Yeah, I don't think that y'all know better. And I think that y'all have a choice, but you really don't. You really don't. And it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, it can be a bad thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing because we weak around y'all too.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like we all weak for each other. The problem is that we don't have any safeguards anymore. It ain't nobody helping nobody. It ain't nobody putting nobody in a better position. Ain't nobody saying no. And so everybody is just, they kind of left to their own devices, and this is what happens. But you know what the problem will be? You'll have these 6 chicks who's all the baby mama of one nigga, right? They'll sit here on the internet and say, "Ain't no more good men," or you know, they'll say all of this shit.
Leah got the curls popping over that thing. I see you, Leah. I see you, Aaliyah. She said, let me go ahead and do a little shum on y'all motherfucking ass. Switch the game up on them.
But then they'll start to project their trauma based off of the experience that they had with one nigga. Now it ain't no more good black men.
That's like Miss Blue's mother doing to her father. Same thing.
Yeah, it ain't no, because her mother was saying,
brainwashing.
Don't do this. Don't go. It's like, no. It's plenty of us. Most of us are good people.
Yeah.
Most of us take care of our business. Most of us don't have children. That's, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of babies is running around. But then that's when you'll see the decentering men, all of that other bullshit. But it's all because you started talking to a nigga that just got out of prison and you let this nigga get you pregnant. And I'm not saying that people that just get out of prison is bad people, because if you did your time or whatever, hey, yo, you paid your debt to society. You know what I'm saying? You took care of your business. That ain't nothing. I ain't holding you back from that. But what I am saying is, if you decide to let a nigga get you pregnant, how is that our fault?
So
they'll say it's all of our fault. That's why guys say, yo, it's a small percentage of men that's getting the majority of these women pregnant, and then they holding all of us accountable when the majority of us is good people.
You talk about the women. About the women.
Men control pregnancy, so it's up to them.
Again, that you can use that excuse when y'all didn't have the options that y'all have, when you didn't have the freedom to go and do the things that you wanted to do, when y'all was 100% under our covering, when you couldn't go and work the way that you want to work, when you couldn't vote the way, all y'all vote count the exact same as mine. All of y'all opportunities you can do whatever you want to do now. You can't use that no more.
Facts.
Not in 2026.
These are one of the most
So it's okay for men to just sleep around with a bunch of women and have sex with them unprotected. And if the women get pregnant, it's the woman's fault for getting pregnant. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
So the men have no control over who they decide to impregnate.
Yes.
They have no control.
They have control.
So then I'm confused as to why is it the woman's.
Why are you confused?
It's the same dude getting the same. It's the same dude getting pregnant.
Because it's not one way or the other. It's both.
Okay, hypothetically speaking,
Did you hear what I'm saying though? It's not one or the other. One thing could be true, two things could be true, three things could be true. Yep, I had a choice. And yep, it's your fault that you got pregnant. And yep, the kids is gonna suffer as a result of it. And yep, we should have did better.
Yep.
But it was her choice.
I'm not saying that any of this stuff is nobody is absolved.
Right.
But it's
everybody.
legs.
One of the reasons, for whatever reason, you saying it is one or the other. No, you still are responsible for the fact that you got pregnant.
Facts.
Yeah. It is your fault you got
I think
pregnant.
the issue is that men are not coming to terms that they are the one who are impregnating these women. That
No, the problem is no. Let's be clear. Men are already held accountable from the jump. That's the problem. But see, the problem is, even though we are already held accountable, it's like, hey, hold on. We're not about to just sit up here and just put all the responsibility on the man. We also have to understand that you play a part in this too, because y'all like to use this, oh, it takes two to tango. Correct, it does. So yes, that man is responsible just as well as you. You both have equal responsibility in this situation. So you can't just sit up here and point the finger like, I bet, dude, that was my fault. At this point, you can't sit out here and point the finger at each other. It's point the finger back at me like, damn, bro, I knew I shouldn't have got that bitch pregnant, man. Fuck, man. That's what niggas be saying when they find out, man, fuck, man, god damn, bro. Niggas be over there and niggas be on the edge of their bed. Fuck, bro. Knew I shouldn't have got that bitch pregnant, man. Knew I shouldn't have fucked around with that bitch, man. Niggas was already telling me, dog. Knew I shouldn't have been fucking with that bitch. Fuck. Now you already know what's gonna come because you already know the bitch crazy as it is. You already know she crazy as it is. Now you know it's about to get worse. You owe that bitch like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, bro. And so now you trying to play it cool because now you over this bitch like, man, I ain't trying. Listen, I really ain't trying to fuck with her for real though. I'm gonna see if she can try to get that abortion for real. As soon as you gonna try to slide, listen. And listen, you hit it with that yo, what up though? Shit, chilling. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So what you thinking of? What you trying to do? I mean, for real. I mean, let's be, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real though. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we both ready for that shit though? Are we ready for it? You know, man, like we still got a lot of life to live, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of life to live. You know what I mean? You know, we had a good time type shit, but let's be real though. Do you really want to have this baby with me? Cause I know you know what I'm saying, you was saying some shit about me, you know, I was saying some shit about you. You know, I ain't even in the financial space yet to try to take care of the baby yet. You know, I'm trying to get my shit. You already know, I told you before, you know, I had a couple of things in motion I'm trying to get going on, and all this gonna do is hinder me. So nigga up here trying to nigga up here trying to get her to convince her to get this abortion situation. Like, man, you know, I already got a lot of shit going on, man. You know, like, listen, bro, I'll be honest with you. If I was in that financial space, I'll be like, shit, hey, let's go ahead and knock this shit out. This too easy. Maybe gonna be taken care of, but I ain't there yet, man. And I think it's gonna hinder me. You know, I think it's gonna hinder me in what I'm trying to get to. You know, you already know the dreams and aspirations that I got. I just don't want it. And then on top of that, then look, think about it. You remember you said that you finna go back to school for nursing, right? You said you trying to get that, you trying to become an RN, right? Yeah, man. So like that's what I'm saying though. You know, I don't want to hinder you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hinder me. I want to make sure that we straight financially. You know what I'm saying? I care about your success. I care about you. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that we straight for real though. Cause I don't want to bring nobody to this world and I can't financially take care of, man. Like that just ain't me. That just ain't the type of man that I am. That ain't how I was raised. So I just want to make sure I'm straight. Nigga hear that and then she gonna call back. I know. But ain't nobody tell you that inside me though. I know, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my fault though. Like that's on me. That's on me. Listen, look, peep this out. So like what you gonna do though? Like are you gonna go through with it or I don't know. You know, I'm still thinking about it. you know, I do understand what you're saying. You know, I do want to become an RN. You know, that's gonna take a longer time. You know, that's gonna take me longer than what I would think. And then I know you still want to, you know, you got the dreams, the aspiration. I don't want to get in the way of that. Like that's what I'm saying though, man. Like if you do this for me, like it ain't even for me. Like, but if you do this, you know what I'm saying, we'll be straight. You know, that way, you know, we can further get to know each other. We can really build this bond together. We can build this empire together. You know how niggas love to use, you know how black people love to use empire. Listen, man, we can build this empire together. You know, we can really get this bread up. And then we can really try to have this kid together, knowing damn well this nigga ain't trying to fuck with her for real. That was just a one-off situation. He got caught up in some shit. Listen, man, come on, man, like come through. Like, what you thinking? I don't know. Let me think about it. He put on mute, man. This bitch, he bullshitting, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, what? Like, ain't no more. Now, look, he got the phone on mute now. Nigga, like, man, fuck, bro. Like, man, this bitch bullshitting, bro. What you mean you need to think longer about it, man? Listen, bro, the baby ain't even there yet, bro. Like, ain't even, man, nigga, we only a weekend. Man, I don't even, man, this, no, he go into that whole, I don't even know that shit mine for real. He was like, man, I don't even know if that shit mine for real though, bro. Like, man, cause that shit was too, man, when I think about it, that shit was too easy, bro. Like, nigga, she gave that shit to me on the first jump off the porch. She jumped off the porch and gave it to me, man. That bitch might be on these streets like that. She might be trying to get me, bro. Nigga start talking crazy and shit. And then boom, nigga call like, all right, man. So you know what I'm saying? So like, so how much time? Like, so what you saying though? Like, you gonna need some time to think about it, or you know, who you gotta talk to? Yeah, I just need a few days to think about what I want to do. You know, all right, cool, man. Look, just let me know just let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm here when you need me. Just hit me up. Cool. Next thing you know, about 3 or 4 days later, then he was like, hey, what's good with it? Hey. So I'm saying, you told me to hit you up. You told me to hit you. I just wanted to hit you up, make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, what's good with it? How you feeling? You know, I would, you know, after taking some time to think about it, you know, I was talking to a couple of people, talking to my family, talking to some of my friends, and you know, I always wanted to be a mother, and I know I didn't want to have a baby like this, but you know, I don't believe in an abortion, so you know, I think I'm gonna go through it. Nigga like, man, fuck. Hey, like, you sure though? Like, you sure? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though, you remember you said you want to be an RN and shit, right? You feel me? I know you said you want to be an RN. I know you said you want to do this, that, and the third, man. Like, are you sure you want to do that right now? Man, we still young. You could have more kids later, man. Like, you sure you need to do this right now? You know, I could do it, but I know I'm gonna feel guilty in the end. And you know, I'm just not that type of person. This is gonna fuck me up. Nigga like, man. And so, y'all niggas end up in some shit.
No. We can't impregnate you unless you open the front door to let our dick in. We can't be blamed for
it's not about having a dick. It's about
listen. Unless I take it involuntarily, yes, you are responsible for the decision to open up your legs to the guy and get pregnant. Yes, that is your fault. Why is that not your fault?
It's both sides.
I'm the woman, and you said women are stupid or whatever.
Nobody said that.
No, women are stupid.
Women don't have this proper discernment or whatever the case may be. So I'm stupid. I'm laying there with my legs open. You, as a smart man who impregnates me, should know I don't want to be with this woman. I don't want to have no kids with her. Let me strap up. Let me do what I have to do. Let me pull out. Let me do what I have to do and not impregnate a woman that I don't want. You men have to take responsibility.
Why don't you just say, I'm not going to have sex with you unless you got a condom, and the dude say, I don't got one. You say, oh, okay, but don't you come at me.
That's your fault.
You know, all right. So, see, Miss Blue, you listen. There's two things. There's two sides of the coin, right? When you have sex unprotected, one, you allowed him. You allow him to enter your home without protection. That's just as if you allow somebody to come into your household and you got mud on your shoes. You like, it's cool, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. Instead of telling them to take their shoes off at the door so they won't track mud through the house, you're like, nah, you good. So now you allow them to come into your house and dirty up your home, right? It goes the same way. You decide to open up your legs, and this man don't have protection. Now, if you don't have protection, this is where you got to look out for you. It's like, hey, you ain't got that protection. Nah, sir. I'm going to need you to go get that protection. Even if this nigga like, come on, baby, man. Like, come on, man. Like, nope, not happening. I promise you I ain't gonna. Nope, not happening. It's either you go get the condom, or we ain't doing nothing. Simple as that. Like, don't try to fight it. Don't do none of that. I get it. You in the moment. It's tempting. You ready for it. You hot. You ready. You bother your shit gushing. No. Tell him to go get a condom. If he ain't got it, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Now, if you decide to do it, you decide to still do it, first of all, you allowed him in. So that's your responsibility. So you've already opened the gates of like, okay, come in. Now that he's in, now he's also responsible because guess what? It takes two to tango. So he has to be cognizant of himself. Now he also has to say, listen, I need to put a condom on. Or not. Or he got to suffer the consequences of potentially getting her pregnant. It is what it is. It's both of y'all. Not just one side. It's both of y'all's fault.
Not having a
when I was working in a plant a long time ago, when I used to work in a steel mill. And one of the things that we used to have to do is we had to lock out. And lock out was a safety measure to prevent equipment from coming on once the maintenance guys went in there and they started working on equipment. So a lot of times something will break down. They would have to go into the pit, but inside of that pit, it's a lot of different things. And if that machine cut on while that guy's in there, he could lose his life. So what they taught us before we ever went out on the floor to start getting trained is we had to have lockouts. And lockouts is the master, I don't know how you want to describe it, but it's basically once you cut all of the power, you actually have your own lock that you lock it on so that nobody else has a key to it. They can't come in and then turn that machine on because they don't see you down there because you just one man and you down there in that pit and nobody knows that you're there, right? It's a master safety mechanism. But before you get to the lockout, you still had to cut the equipment off. You still can go in the booth and you can hit the master stop button. And so there's about 4 or 5 different steps before you can cut that machine on. And then that master lockout is the final thing that you have to get through in order to really be able to get that machine on before you get yourself in a dangerous situation. I look at pregnancy as just that. The woman is the final lockout, right? Because I have to meet you. I have to convince you to take your clothes off. I have to spread your legs open. I have to then not put on a rubber, get inside of you, finish, nut, and then you still have the option, respectfully, regardless of where you are on the spectrum, as far as Republican versus Democrat, then you have the decision of whether or not you still want to have the child, if you want to have that child, right? And you had to let me in between your legs. So we got about 7 or 8 steps before this child is ever born.
But
and
why are you leaving it up to me?
And what you're telling me is that you don't have no option of whether or not you can get pregnant.
No,
and had his child out of wedlock.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, I'm just going off of the mentality of what you're saying. If women are just this naive and this stupid, I think men should be more responsible with these stupid women.
What
I'm saying is,
the
beauty in God
making it to me as a stupid woman to get pregnant, to have a baby, that's your fault.
She trying to be slick, man.
Come on, Miss Blue. Come on, Miss Blue. I see what you're trying to do, but nah, Miss Blue, it don't work like that. No, man. Y'all ain't as dumb as y'all think y'all are. No. You know, and you know that. No.
The way that God designed us.
Because then it can be looked at as we're taking advantage. We're not gonna do that. We're not about to do that or manipulate it. Not gonna do that.
Is that we have to have multiple steps, and you have to have multiple different people participate before somebody can get pregnant, right? So I have to fuck you, and you have to agree to get fucked.
Unless you got a gun. Unless you got a gun.
So my point is as an adult in today's age, somebody is I can hear an echo. As an adult in today's age, you no longer have the autonomy to not have responsibility for getting pregnant. That's all I'm saying. You got to stop blaming people. You really do.
I'm not blaming anyone.
If I fuck you, not you, but I'm just in general. If I fuck you and you get pregnant, that's your fault and it's my fault, both. We both have responsibility. You can't just say, oh, it's your fault that I got pregnant.
Don't worry, Miss Blue. That's not what the judge is going to say when they hand down that child support order. They're going to say it's his fault. It's his fault. It doesn't really matter what you say. You're going to be wrong because women are.
But Mimi, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what don't matter, Mimi?
Say make him pay child support, and then they're going to be mad. So at the end of the day,
hold on, wait. You think that child support matter to a nigga like me?
That's what I'm saying. So and then there you go. You go into a whole nother conversation about the what ifs. Okay, you got the child support, cool. But if we have this conversation and we already understand what we're doing here, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna take care of this child. I'm gonna do what it is that I need to be doing. Now, a lot of dudes who are already ahead of the game, like, listen, man, I already know what this chick about, so I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on child support, so that way they ain't gotta press me for shit. I'm just gonna put myself on child support. But then if some women if they actually pay attention and they actually are willing to work with you, it's like, hey, listen, don't put me on child support. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can for this child. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be an active father. Whatever it is you need from me, I'm going to make sure that you get it. But please understand, this ain't about you. This is about the kid and what the kid needs. This ain't about you getting an extra $200 so that way you can go party, you can go to the club type shit. This is for the kid. Everything that I spend is for the kid. That's child support, not spousal support, not baby mama support. This is child support. Everything that I do is for the kid. So if the kid need new clothes, not just off some random shit, not just the baby need new clothes, so I need you to spend me some money. No. You got a job too. We both taking care of this kid. So you're not just about to get all this money from me just because you think that you can. No, ma'am, it don't work that way. We're not about to do this, but then, of course, people get in their ear. You got all these other ladies and shit, the parents or whoever the case may be, all in her ear. Girl, you need to get that man child support. I know he make a lot more money than what he give you. Girl, he only giving you $400 a month. Girl, let me tell you, man, I get about $2,000 a month out of child support out of my baby daddy. Girl, you only getting $400? Shit. You better go back to the court and tell them that you need more money. Don't no child cost $2,000 a month. Unless you put them in daycare. Because daycare is egregious. Daycare is egregious. That's the only way. That's the only way it would make sense. Other than that, man, you miss me with that shit. You better get up out my goddamn face. You better get up out my face. You heard me? You heard? What's the word? But anyway, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Shout out to Anton, Daniels, and all of them. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to Shampoo. Shout out to Island Girl Q and the rest of the panel. Keep doing your thing over there, big dog. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, the Courtney Ecker Show, we're going to blow. We're going to be at 1 million views, 1 million subscribers. We're going to be at all that good stuff. But we're going to continue to keep working because we got a long way to go. All right. So I want to go ahead and pivot over to the money. Hold on, let me hit it one more time. Money. Hold on, one more time. Hold on, one more. Money. Let's pivot over to the money. All right, so there's this YouTuber, and I'll tag when I clip up the video. Let me see what her name is. Her name is Johnny Lee. Johnny Lee. And she said that she quit her 6-figure job. She quit a 6-figure job. All right. So this is a 30-minute video. So of course there's going to be a lot of stops and pauses here. So make sure you dial in with your boy. We're going to talk about this money, and we're going to talk about in regards to what she's talking about and to why she quit her 6-figure job. All right. So let's go ahead and lock in, dog.
This is gonna sound so incredibly privileged. Yep, it is. And I know it is. I just quit my 6-figure job. With what backup? And that's the story that I want to tell people. It's the story that is yearning to come out of my mouth for clicks or something, or just like what I believe is supposed to be entertaining. But
hold on, let me go ahead and preface this video right now. Let me preface this video right now before we go deeper into this. I'm not here to bash her. I'm not here to attack her in any kind of way. All right. I'm just going to give my commentary on this shit, whether I agree or disagree. All right. So just want to go ahead and make that clear.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of hot. I think it's hot because I'm nervous. I'm probably realizing that I can't really talk about why I quit my 6-figure job. And it'd be dumb to name this why I quit my 6-figure job or whatever. The reality of it is I can't talk about why I quit my 6-figure job because currently it's a wound. And if there's one thing that I learned while I was there, it was never speak from a wound, only speak from a scar. Or I think it's the other way around. Never speak from a scar, only speak from, always speak from a scar, never speak from a wound. Okay. And essentially what it means is that when you speak from a wound, you're speaking from something that still hurts when you touch it. So still hurts when you talk about it, still stings a little bit. And when you're in that state and there's a lot of emotion going through your body and going through in your brain and whatever is happening in that current circumstance, you might, just say things you regret, say things that aren't true, say things to make yourself believe a certain version of that story so that you can cope. Now, although being transparent is very important and very, that whole idea of authenticity and whatnot is being pushed and something that you should be doing, I also believe that there are things that need to maybe not be said. It's almost the beauty of the internet is that you can kind of pick and choose what you talk about and what you put out there. You can still be authentic by choosing the things that you will talk about. And so, yeah, you need to speak from scars, because when you speak from a scar, everything is healed over. There is no amount of prodding on that particular topic or thing that won't hurt. And you have come to your own conclusion and you have your own closure and you understand what it is and like where
You ran
you
it.
sit in that situation.
Yeah. Let's get
And currently, I don't sit in that camp where I feel that I have my own closure in that situation, and I know truly the benefit of my departure or what I'm going to do. So yeah, I quit my 6-figure job at a job that on paper I thought was perfect and it made sense, and I was gonna like live the life that I wanted and have the career that I wanted. But you know, at the end of the day, I think to touch on it lightly and to not go deep into talking about the whole experience or whatnot. I was chasing someone else's dream. And because I had too weak of a mind for myself at the time, or when I was younger in the past, it was easier for me to attach my wants and dreams and desires to someone else's, someone that I thought I wanted to be, essentially. I think that makes sense. And I came to realize that there's a lot of things that you think you want to do, but you're just influenced to want it. You are influenced to want to have it. You're influenced to, yeah, that's it. Point blank. You're influenced to want to have things. And those biases occur.
You just rambling right now. Get to the point. I quit my 6-figure job. Okay, let's get to the whys. Let's get to what made you want to do it. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. Let's get to it.
Without you noticing, you don't realize it. It's all very human because it's very hive mind and sheep and pack thinking, where you want to do what other people are doing because it feels safe, it feels right. And there's so many things that you get influenced to do, right? I can remember so many things in my life that I used to feel incredibly influenced to want. And, you know, to this day, still get influenced to think that I want these things. One of them, for example, one that I'm kind of like pretty happy to talk about. Excuse me. Is the being influenced to want a family. Like, you see so many people post about their family and family content and how they look so happy, and it just looks like something that you might potentially want. And you know, you're allowed to potentially want things. I think it's just being able to think through and making sure that the reason you want it isn't because you're influenced into believing you want it. It's because you actually want it, and it aligns to the things that you desire and you truly want and you truly want to prioritize. Oh my God. Where, yeah, for example, a family, it looks great on paper, it looks great in content, it looks great in the life that kind of is portrayed around like the emotions that occur with having a family and whatnot.
Hey, bro,
but
listen, shorty, like you just rambling. Get to the point. No, like real talk. You just rambling. What's up?
But oh God, I don't know if this is cakey or not. Who cares? I'll come up with it. Anyway. But it's so easy to be influenced to think that you want that life. Of course it is, right? You see it all the time, like, and it's generations upon generations of people doing it. And so you think that is the right thing to do, that it's safe because you see the pack do it and you're influenced on wanting that. But really, when you sit down with yourself, and I, fortunately, you know, I do understand that this kind of thinking or this choice, not just applicable to the scenario of having a family, but my ability to choose the things that I want in my life and the direction that I want in my life, I totally understand comes from a place of privilege, complete and utter privilege, because there's some things that you can't choose. And
I said this won't be a piece of content where I'm bashing her. Listen, Jody, I'm gonna need you to get to the point. I'm trying to get to the point, but I'm trying to give you a little grace in regards to allowing you to get your thoughts out before you get to the nuts and bolts of what you're talking about. We're talking about the money here. So I need you to get there. Why did you leave your job? Why did you leave your 6-figure job? To do what? Come on, man.
I know that I am lucky enough to be in a place where I get to make choices. So incredibly fortunate to be able to make choices. And it sucks that that is not the reality for every person. But speaking from a place of privilege, and what I'm trying to say is having the time to sit with yourself and your thoughts and dig deep. And it's going to sound so freaking woo-woo. I know it's going to sound so woo-woo. It's going to sound so like airy-fairy, yada, yada, chase your dreams kind of stuff, which has its time and place and is very inspirational and is needed for some people. But you need to sit down and think, like, what is the actual priority that thing or that choice you're going to make is actually going to fill, right? For me, if I look at having a family, there is nothing about having kids currently that fulfills a need or priority within myself, right? If I were to have kids, it would be because I feel the need to have kids, or I don't know, that all of a sudden had some weak thoughts about, not weak, I don't want to say it's weak. It is probably not the right word, but I had thoughts that had been influenced by an outside thing and didn't realize fast enough that it was an outside influence. So I know I don't want kids because I want the sense of freedom. I want to be able to do what I want to do selfishly and as it should be selfish, as I should be selfish. This is my life. I selfishly want to be able to move and do things without the emotional labor that occurs when you have a child. And if I were to have a child, I would want to love them wholeheartedly and care for them. And I think that is what a child would deserve. Unfortunately, I'm just not, my priorities aren't straight, and my priorities, it's not even aren't straight. My priorities aren't aligned. To say that they aren't straight is to assume that I think that my priorities are wrong, which I don't believe that my priorities are wrong. I believe that my priorities aren't aligned. Prioritize, I guess that is is it this feeling of wanting to be maternal or showing care, or then are there other things I'm a mother to prove that? Does that make sense? You see that? It's not that bad. Hopefully it comes out ink all up on my top. As of now, my current mindset is that I don't want children. And if that changes down the line, I don't know, like I agreed with or happy with, I know that I took the time to know myself currently to have that conversation. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things in your life or in our lives, or I mean, my life, I don't know, you don't have to take anything I say at all, but that are you're just influenced to believe that you want it. You're influenced to believe that you want that thing, but you don't. Like when I started this content creation thing, I was influenced to believe that like I want like fashion partnerships, right? Because I thought that the people in fashion were mega cool, and I mean, who doesn't want to be a freaking Chamberlain, right? But on the path to trying to like figure that out for myself.
From what it seems like so far, It's like she make a lot of decisions based off of her emotions. She claims that she has her shit together, but it don't seem like it. I'm gonna be 110% honest. I'm not bashing you, but this is just what I'm observing right now. And based off of this and what I'm seeing, you quit your 6-figure job to be happy. That sounds great on paper. That sounds great in theory. Now, fortunately enough, you don't have children. You don't have, anybody that you have to take care of. So that's good in that sense, right? That's good. But then who knows if you will ever have children? Who knows? We don't know. But just speaking on this right here, I don't recommend quitting your job. That goes to anybody. I get it. You want to follow your dreams. You want to get away from the rat race, all of this shit. But here's what I found out. If you don't know what the hell that you're going to be doing, if you don't know what the hell you're going to be doing once you quit that job, if you don't have nothing already planned, and I'm not saying go have another 9-to-5 job plan, or you don't have a focused plan in regards to what you're going to do once you're done, or you're just winging this shit, it's a bad idea. With the way that this economy going, the way that things are going, the way that things are changing so rapidly, that ain't the way to go at all. Cool. If you're doing it to create content, that's cool. But however, if you're not making enough money that is surpassing what you're making at your job, if you're not 5x or 10x in what you're making at your job, you don't need to quit your job. Continue to keep building, continue to keep growing, continue to keep readjusting and repivoting what it is that you're doing in order for you to get to that goal of, all right, I've 10x my income, so now I can really focus on doing this shit full time. If you haven't gotten there yet, ain't no reason to quit your job. So what it seems like to me so far is that she makes very emotional decisions, which then ties back into the what? Pay gap, the gender pay gap. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You have women quitting their jobs. You have a lot of women not working as much as men. This is why that pay gap BS is a fallacy. Because again, if that were the case, if men technically did, if there was a pay gap and men were to get paid more than women, and this is a capitalistic country, correct? That means we want bigger margins, right? That means you want bigger margins to make more money because it's a capitalistic country. That would mean that you would want to hire more women because you pay them less, right? You want to pay them less. But they don't pay you less because there's a gender pay gap. They pay you less because a lot of y'all don't know how to negotiate for what your job is or what your job offers. A lot of you take time off. A lot of you quit your jobs. So there is no such thing as a gender pay gap. But let's continue to keep going.
Myself, like it just wasn't me. It not even it just wasn't, like it still is not me, and I still can't have the respect for those people and the people who do that, and understand that maybe actually that priority for me wasn't for me. It was for an idea of me that I was told would be cool. Now the problem is, like, no one is forcing you, or no one is telling you like this is cool. Or I mean, in some cases, no one's really telling you that these things are quote unquote cool, right? Like, I don't know, they're just like perceived that way and they make you feel that way, and then your brain does the thinking of the background thinking that tells you whether you want it or not. And I just think more of us and more people, take the time to hijack that system, hijack that reaction of want, not just for small wants, but for like specifically big wants. Hijack that system to figure out if that's truly what you want. Because imagine if I was, if I did convince myself I had a family and I knew within myself that my priority is like freedom of movement and the emotional labor that I'm willing to give currently is to my husband. Imagine I knew that, and then I had a family, and then I had kids, right? This is such a permanent decision that like I can't go back on it. I'd probably have to wait another, I don't know, 18 years until I go and achieve my passion again for creating freedom in my life, if that is the thing that I would continue to still want to do. But yeah, I'm not saying that people with kids don't live a life of freedom. That's definitely not the thing that I'm trying to say. I think what I'm trying to say is that like it just doesn't align to me, right? Like you can want, I mean, simply put, you can have a favorite color. Your favorite color can be red and my favorite color can be blue, and they can both be correct.
All right, bro. She just rambling at this point. No, she dead ass just rambling. We're not even getting to the point. I thought you were gonna be talking about you leaving your 9 to 5, but at the end of the day, you talking about happiness and what you believe, follow your dreams type shit. No. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I used to believe that. And I still believe it to an extent, right? I still believe it to an extent. But I think following your dreams, so to speak, comes from a place of you've done it all already. You've been out here, you made the money that you wanted to make, you've accomplished the things in life that you wanted to accomplish. So you're looking for something new. Now you can actually follow the dreams, right? I can use Michael Jordan for an example, right? One of the biggest things that Michael Jordan did. Thank you. One of the things that Michael Jordan did, he went back and played baseball, right? That was like almost like a childhood dream of his, right? To go back and play baseball. But what was he great at? Basketball. He was great at basketball. That's what people remember him for. Basketball. Not his dream. Not his dream. And so I think that's just a personal thing. And so if you're making the bread, you making a 6-figure job, which is a job that most people would pretty much kill to have, why leave the job just all based off of your happiness? I'm gonna be honest, fuck your happiness, especially, man, if you're still young and you got a lot of things to accomplish in life. Fuck your dreams and goals right now, man. Focus on building, focus on growing, and focus on investing your money, dog. Once you have enough money to where you can sustain your lifestyle, not just have the money, but be able to sustain your lifetime, your lifestyle over a period of time, then you can actually be like, okay, well, now let me go put my efforts into this dream that I always had of doing, or whatever that may be. Because I have a dream too. I sound like Martin Luther King. That's funny. I want to own a multi-complex, right? I want to be able to own a multi-complex. That means with all different sports, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, things like that. And be able to have this entire building where you can train different players, different athletes in this one building, but it's all sectioned off based off of what you play, based off of the sport that you play. It's all sectioned off. I would love to open one of those up, but that's a dream to have. But once I'm not gonna go do a dream in order to get the dream. I'm gonna do the things that I may not love, so to speak, but that's gonna give me the money that's practical to get, that I can reach easy, the low hanging fruit, to build that money up, to build that wealth up. So then I can go and invest into this entire multiplex, because now that's a dream I always had. You see what I'm saying? So I get it. I'm not gonna quit no job just based off of happiness. You pronounce LeBron wrong, bro. You funny as hell. You pronounce LeBron wrong, but no, that's how I look at this shit. Fuck the dream. Let's get the money right now. Fuck the dream. Get the money. Stack your bread up as long as you want. Then you can come on here and talk shit. But if you just quit a job just because you weren't happy there, man, fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that soft shit, nigga. We gonna get through it. We gonna leverage the job. Let me say it again. We're gonna leverage the job that pays the bills. We're gonna stack our bread. We're gonna extract as much money as we possibly can from the job, 401ks, IRAs, stock options, everything that we possibly can out of that job. And then we make our move. Because if you just think that it's just, oh, well, I'm gonna work here for years, man, listen, it ain't the same no more, bro. Back when we had warehouse jobs, when they had pitchings back in the day, when the warehouse job, nigga, having a good job was the warehouse jobs. We ain't got that no more. 2 to 3 years, you better be looking somewhere else. Because one of the two things need to happen. If you're gonna stay at the company that you're at, you need to be figuring out a different department to go to in order for you to get your bread up. But also stacking up your skills, stacking up the projects. Why are you thinking that? Why are you sitting up there worrying about, oh man, they just giving me extra work, man. See, I told you they don't care about me, bro. They're giving you extra work. You need to dial that in. You need to document that shit. Because these are new skills that you're learning, whether you think so or not. You think it's extra work, but it's more skills that you're learning. You become the expert, so therefore you use that to your leverage. So now when you're going to apply for a different position, or you're going to apply to a different department, they're going to ask you, what projects have you worked on? Boom, you got a long list of shit that you already worked on. More money, right? Or if you decide to take those same projects and you decide to go to a different company, guess what? You may have been getting paid $60,000 over here, but because you've gained all these skills and you've gained all this knowledge over here at this one company, and you take that over here to this another company, nigga, you about to make $20,000 to $30,000 more. So you go from $60,000 to $90,000 or $95,000 if you negotiate properly. And depending on the type of company, you may get some stock options too. But what you don't want to do is upgrade your lifestyle. The same lifestyle that you was living at that 60K, you maintain that same lifestyle. Don't go and buy a better car, a more expensive car. Don't go and move. Don't go and start buying shit that you don't need to buy and running up your credit and running up the credit card. Nope, stick to exactly what you've been doing. Act like nothing has changed. Bet and continue to keep investing your money. Continue to keep on putting money into your 401ks and your IRAs, and continue to keep letting that shit grow and grow over time. Do not level up the lifestyle. And then once you get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm 10x of what I'm doing, now I can leave my job comfortably and still maintain the lifestyle that I had. And then now you can focus on the dream. You feel me? So that's my thoughts on it. But hey, hopefully she figured it out. Hopefully she got everything. Hopefully she figured everything out and what it is that she's doing. But she need to go back to that job. That's a fact. But hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm, and make sure you hit the bell notification. Let's go to my girl Cody Sanchez. She's talking about the simple businesses that makes you $54,000 a month. $54,000 a month. I haven't viewed this video yet. I'm like, $54,000 a month. Hey, we need to see what this is about. You feel me? So without further ado, let's go ahead and rock out.
Fail. Nearly half don't even make it past 5 years. But it doesn't have to be that way. This couple bought a business that succeeds 96% of the time. And with no construction background, Kevin and Kathy went from office jobs they hated to having a rapidly expanding roofing business. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how they pulled it off so you can too. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to show you my exact 3 moves I'd made to start this business if I didn't have a ton of cash, then how I'd scale it to 7, then 8 figures. We'll steal their homework. What also interested you in the category of roofing?
I mean, without roofing, roofing's always been good, but much more than that, right? It's the roofing, it's the gutter, it's the windows. So, a $15,000 roofing job can end up being, 20,000, 25,000, maybe even 30 and beyond.
This is what's called a picks and shovels business, not a gold treasure hunting business, which I love. No hype, consistent cash flow. Other people have done this before. This is a business that you can count on. Kevin didn't randomly pick roofing. He was searching for the right service business for years. He wanted high margin, big dollar cost in the sales that he could get. And also he wanted an ability to have something so easy grandma could understand it. Okay, so how do you copy their homework? I call this the perfect fit filter. It's how you avoid starting or buying a business that turns into a nightmare, and you find one that fits you like a glove. One, is it in a boring, high margin industry with consistent demand? Roofing, check. It's not sexy, it's not trendy, but people are always gonna need roof. This is what I call a Lindy business. The longer it's been around, the longer it'll survive, like this graph shows you. Then you've got to ask yourself, do you understand it or can you learn it fast? Kevin didn't know roofing, but he knew how to lead, sell, and follow a proven playbook. That's key. You don't need to be a technician, aka a roofer, that's hard, but instead you need a smart operator. If the business requires a PhD, bye. No, thank you, we're not gonna do that. If it runs on relationships, systems, and hustles, yep, I'm in. Can it run without you doing everything? He didn't want another job. He wanted a business.
Right.
So he looked for something he could scale with a team, not something he'd be stuck on a roof doing himself. Let me break this down. In a market crazed with low barriers to entry and lots of participants, aka competitors, you have a hard time picking winners. So instead, you want to be an arms dealer, which means you sell pickaxes in a gold rush. You sell wine barrels instead of wine. We don't want to go after the sexy part of the business. We want to be the person that's selling the thing that everybody needs, no matter who wins.
Right.
If you want to start a highly profitable company, you need to build highly differentiated products in markets without a lot of competition. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Right here, it's called the death zone. What is this? Low differentiation. That means everything's kind of the same. High competition. Cups on Amazon. Red Solo cups. There's not a lot of differentiation and there's a ton of them. Okay, not great. We don't want to go there. Then we've got low differentiation, low competition. Okay, this is kind of sexy in some ways. That means maybe it's Red Solo cups, but nobody's selling them yet. The problem is in this area, at some point, you'll have more competition. Your opportunity will get arbitraged away. Then we've got high differentiation, high competition. This would be things like Amazon. There's not a lot of them, but man, would that be really tough to compete against. I don't want to go head to head with Bezos. And then finally, we've got high differentiation, low competition. This is the sweet spot, baby. It's where you've got your little roofing companies in an area where you don't have a ton, especially because they're not focused on this insurance component. So when you are starting a business, ask yourself, where am I? Am I in the death zone or am I in the sweet spot? Let's talk about startup costs. This business cost $186,000 to start. But they got creative. They used what's called ROBS, which is basically your retirement account, and used that retirement account to fund a big percentage of the purchase. And then they could just put a little bit money down. All right, let's talk first about all the costs. So we know that you used financing from a third party, which is super normal. I don't think most people realize most businesses are bought with creative financing, but you had some startup costs. So let's see if these are right. Training, $5K. Yep. Uniforms, because we got to look sharp. $3K. I like the shirts. Bunch of techs, phones, tablets, laptops, $6K. Now you financed a portion of that. How does that work?
So financing the equipment, we just used our cell phone carrier and just financed whatever we could.
Trucks, $40,000 for 2, but you also financed these.
Yes.
So what are you paying? A couple $100 a month?
We pay about $800 a month per truck, but the catch is because we are a new business, we had to do a personal guarantee on it.
Yeah, they got to make sure you're not going to run. Then as the business grows, you'll be able to use the assets of the business and the line of credit of the business to do it on a go-forward basis. Amazing. Let's talk about insurance. Not cheap when it comes to roofing.
No.
So what do you think that is? $3,500 a month?
So there's 2 different types of insurances we had to do. So one we had to pay upfront for the year, which is about $3,500, and then the other insurance we pay monthly, about $900 a month.
Copy. Then you got some merch because you did a grand opening. What was that all about?
Just a lot of our swag. So koozies, keychains, our tent that we're going to use, just like swag that we can give out to the community just to get our name out there.
I love that. I think people really underestimate what a 5K in merch can do for your growth. Especially if you have a cool branding, like Action has cool, it's clean. It doesn't look like an old school roofer. It's kind of like vintage looking, which I like. All right, let's talk about financing this bad boy. Because I think people hear oh my God, Kathy, how rich are you? Did you just have $186,000 you wanted to throw at it immediately? But you were like a little bit creative with this. How'd you guys finance this bad boy?
So initially we were looking at SBA loans, but we quickly learned that SBA loans are pretty high in interest rates.
Yep.
We were totally...
Yep, because SBA loan is a government-backed business loan that helps small business access funding with easy approval, interest rates, and longer terms.
Unaware of that. And then just getting
That's why when I'm looking into purchasing businesses, right, the last thing I want to do is get an SBA loan. That's the last thing I want to do. You feel me?
SBA loan with Action Exteriors being a new franchise was already going to be hard enough because they wanted numbers, they wanted your projections, and obviously there was nothing like that. So we learned about ROBS, which is rollover for business startups. So basically we used our pre-tax retirement funds to fund the business, which was something we were unaware of. So I was like, huh, cool. So all of our hard work from our previous careers just kind of compiled together to start this new business. And we were just willing to put our retirement because we just knew that failures wasn't an option for us.
The real truth, you need $0 to start. 95% of startups today don't need $1, a deck, a VC, a boardroom. They can start as a group chat, a wait list. That's how I started Contrarian Thinking. That's it. Cost maybe $10 in a weekend. You do pre-sales to fund your development. You give away a percentage of equity to your investors. Your profit share with your team could potentially be part of the funding. This is how you build a startup in 2025. Fast, scrappy, and free. So stop begging for capital. Start creating customers. Now, if you want to buy your business and you see it costs $186K, your brain might go, no way can I afford that. But here's the truth. You don't have to have all the cash up front. You just need to know how to structure the deal. I call it the 3 levers of creative financing. These are the tools smart buyers use. Let's break it down. Lever 1, SBA lending. Use the bank's money. The Small Business Administration will finance up to 80 to 90% of a business if it's profitable or sometimes part of a franchise. That means for a $200K business, you might only need 20 to 40K. And the payments are usually covered by the business's cash flow itself. So instead of building something from scratch, you're stepping into a machine that's already running. Lever 2. Seller financing. Ask if the business owner might help you buy the business using future cash flow. A lot of sellers or even franchises will help finance part of the deal. You don't get what you don't ask for, so make sure you ask. Level 3, partner or capital stack. You don't have to go solo. If you're starting a business or you're a strong operator but light on cash, this is where you ask for investors, just like they do in VC land, except we're doing it in profitable businesses. You get to run the day-to-day, they get the return, everybody wins. Some buyers use lines of credit, retirement funds, HELOCs. It's not about one funding source, it's about creating a stack. So the next time you see a business that you think is too expensive to start, and you start to say, I can't afford that, ask instead, how many levers would I need to pull to make this happen? Because ownership isn't reserved for rich people, but it is reserved for people who know how to get rich people to do something for you.
So here's where most people get stuck. You found the business, run the numbers, even negotiated a great price, but then get hit with the big question. How the hell do I actually pay for this? Most of you watching don't have $500K in cash sitting around, and that's okay. Because you don't need to start from scratch. You can buy something that's already making money. What you need to do is stop thinking like a scrappy, bootstrapped owner and start thinking like a CFO. CFOs aren't scared of capital.
Yeah, I agree with that, because when I can contest to that, because when I was looking at courier businesses, right? And so I'm like, oh shit, I got a truck. I could use my truck to go drive X, Y, and Z. And I could pick up the shipment before I head into work. I could drop this off and make a couple of extra $100. But then, shout out to my guy Battlezone. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think he's here right now. But I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. I was thinking about outsourcing the business. And so for a lot of people who don't understand, it's like, all right, so instead of me going out, doing the actual physical labor, doing the actual work, I can outsource the work. So I can reach out to the companies like, hey, listen, if I'm able to get a consistent driver for X amount of days, for X, Y, and Z days, would you be, and I can make sure we can do this on a weekly basis, and we can contract this thing up. Would you be willing to pay me a flat rated fee? This is on the business. This is on the business side, right? This is on the business side. So that can be a furniture store, that can be a metal store, that can be restoration. Any company that's looking for courier businesses that You don't necessarily need or pharmacy or hospitals, anything of that sort, right? Listen, I got a guy who's willing to drive every day. If you pay me a flat rate, boom. Can you guarantee a route or a route? Yes, I bet. I got that locked in over here. I got that confirmation. Now I go over here to the actual company because I play the middleman. I'll go over here to this company, the actual service company or the courier company. It's like, hey, if I could, listen, I got these companies that need drivers. And once you of course you seal the deal, can I get a percentage of that? Because I brought these two companies together that otherwise, if I wasn't there, you wouldn't have it. Absolutely. Boom. Making money. Now I can do the same thing. So now I got a courier business, window cleaning business, pressure washing business, landscaping business. I can bring all of those together. Because mind you, if I got think about this now. If I got a landscaping business, landscaping, window cleaning, and pressure washing business, think about the companies that need that. You can think about business to business. You can think about real estate brokerages, real estate agents. They're always selling and buying, purchasing homes. They're always doing and showing homes. So they're always going to need the firm. They're always going to need the house in tip-top shape, driveways, landscape in tip-top shape. So if you are in contact with a real estate agent who got the ins and outs, especially when you niche it down, so let's just say you decide to go for the homes that's between $200K to $400K. You got a real estate agent who only sells those type of houses. So boom, you connect with them, you lock in with them, lock in business. So now every time they want to do a opening, opening, they want to sell a house or they want to purchase a house, and they need cleaners to come through, they need landscapers, they need window cleaners, pressure washers, all this shit. You already got the business going, and you just play the middleman, and you just making bank off of that shit. Instead of me thinking on the labor mindset, oh, I could just do the work and then I get paid for it. I could just outsource the work and get paid more than the actual fucking labor does.
With it. They create funding plans for growth, and use tools that give them leverage and options. A tool I like for that is SoFi's Small Business Marketplace. It's a centralized platform where you can explore funding options from multiple lenders in one place with no impact to your credit score just for checking. Whether you're looking for SBA loans to buy that first business or a $100K working capital line of credit to finance operations, you can compare your choices in minutes, and in some cases get funding as soon as the same day you're approved. The goal isn't to take every option, the goal is to give yourself options. That's the bridge between ambition and action, and it's exactly how you go from surviving to scaling. So are you climbing on roofs?
I am.
But you don't know how to roof. I was just up there. It's hard. It's hard. Dude, mad respect for roofers, huh? But do you have to know how to do roofing to do this business?
It's really just learning from our suppliers and just experience, identifying damages on the flashings, damages on the soft metals, the gutters, right? So once you learn some of these things, you just see them over and over again, and it just becomes repetition and normal after that.
So half the job as the owner, I imagine then, right, is like you actually looking at a house like this, like you said, and you're coming out here and doing like an RFP. So you're like, all right, I see here we've got some damage. This looks like normal wear and tear. Wow, your gutter is torn off completely. And then you're assessing like that's a $30,000 job. Is that the biggest part of ownership, is like kind of the RFP and then building the team? Or what's the difference between how most people think about a roofing business is like I'm up there as opposed to I'm doing mostly this?
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like as the initial contact with the customer, we're doing all the inspection, getting all the details, and then explaining to the homeowner what we can do, right? Either a retail roof or insurance gig. Then after that, you kind of just, plan it out with your subs, right? Like in scheduling and ordering materials and all that. But that's why a good CRM system is very important. When you have integration with the CRM, with the supplier as well, it makes life a lot easier. And just following the process, and you just have to trust it.
Little secret hack for you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but from this roof here, you can see over to the neighbor's roof. And what did we find out? Well, we saw that their roof looked a little messed up too. So what do our guys do? They go out, drive over, knock on the other guy's roof and say, hey, we noticed we're doing your neighbors. We're fixing it. And insurance, by the way, approved them to have this new roof. Your house is probably around the same age. Do you want us to take a quote and see if we can get the same approval for you for insurance? And lo and behold, it looks like they might get the deal.
Learning sales isn't an option. If you want to scale, you got to do this. I use the trust framework on how to sell everything without feeling salesy. For me, this is how we've built our tiniest companies all the way up to the companies that are worth $100 million plus. I call it trust. Okay, trust starts with tuning in. So you're going to start by really listening. You're asking clarifying questions like, what made you reach out? What's your number one goal? What's broken in your world? Your only job here is to shut up and take notes. Remember, people don't buy the best product. They buy from the person who understands them best.
Right.
Step number 2, reflect. This is where you are the mirror. You're mirroring back. So it sounds like you're struggling with X and Y. Is that right? Yes. They've admitted their own pain in their own words. Now uncover. This is where you dig deeper. Most people have already tried to fix their problem. Am I the first person you've spoken to? If you already tried something, why didn't it work out? Your goal is to help them realize they can't solve this alone. You're surfacing why past solutions failed. Then you're going to share. This is where you tell a story, not a sales pitch. You use the pain points they just admitted to craft a story about someone like them who got results. You know what? That's like Sally, who actually lives 7 blocks over, and she also had a roof that she couldn't afford until us. Then we've got trade. Now you make the offer. Frame it as an exchange. Your goal is X. The problem is Y. Why don't we do this? This is where you ask, does this sound like this might be the solution to your problems? Because you've listened more than you've talked, you've made them feel heard, and you've made the tone sound empathetic, not salesy. Then when you follow up to trade, it feels good to people. And I think this is one of the most overlooked portions of doing sales, is it all comes down to trust to get dollars.
Why do you think you've been as successful as you have in 3 months?
So Kathy and I have a really nice balance. Like, she is very detail oriented, really good with numbers. I feel like I'm really good with casting vision and team building.
Yeah.
Right, because your business is only as good as your team. Right. So if you build a good.
This ties back to when I talk about relationships too. Think about this, man. That's a husband and wife that created a business. I know the last video, I think it was either the last live stream or past Saturday's live stream. I did one. But there was another couple who decided to start a business as well. And what y'all got to understand, bro, what y'all have to understand, you're stronger together than you are apart. You're stronger together than you are apart. There are a lot of things that you can do. So when men ask the question, and so it just ties back to everything that I've talked about. When we talk about money, when we talk about y'all so focused on this man making X amount of dollars. Okay, why haven't y'all thought about this? Okay, I want a man that makes let's just say, since y'all like to be delusional, I need a man to make $500K or more. Okay, what is he doing now? How much is he making? Okay, he's making $100,000. How can we get him to 500K? Thinking outside the box, thinking big, thinking there's no limitations. Sky's the limit. How can we add value somewhere? What skills are you strong in? What skills is he strong in? What's something that we can easily tap into that doesn't require a lot of capital, is very low risk, and is easily in this low barrier of entry, right? Now you're starting to think outside the box just a tad bit. Okay, so now you bring this to him. Hey, babe, instead of you talking at him and tuning your nose up at him because you seen somebody on Instagram, you seen somebody on TikTok talking about how they're living this lavish lifestyle, or you see some goofy like Yada, or you see somebody like what's his name, Poppy Chula, talking about give her $300,000 just because. Fuck out of here, right? Kick rocks. Not even your richest man gonna do that. That's stupid. But instead of you looking at that, you can look at the Cody Sanchez's, right? You can look at the Myron Goldens, right? You can look at the Omar El Takraris, right? You can look at the Jasmine Stars. You can look at these individuals who understand the business mindset, or you can go look at School of Hard Knocks. where they talk about this money in aspect. When we get back to it, you can listen to the Anton Daniels, all of these cats. And so when you start to think outside the box, it's like, hey, babe, listen. And you talk to him with love, you put a battery in his back instead of you talking at him and tuning your nose up at him. Hey, babe, I was thinking about something. You know, you remember the conversation we had? Because you remember I always talk about you got to have the hard conversations up front. You know, what's your 5-10-year plan? You dive deep into the conversation instead of just having this, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Now you dive into this shit. It's like, hey, you remember when we had the conversation when we first met and you said that you see yourself, you know, in 5 to 10 years, you making X amount of dollars and, you know, we doing this, we doing that, X, Y, and Z. He can be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Well, I was thinking, you know, we're closing in on those years. We're closing in on the 5-year mark. And then before we know it, we're going to be at the 10-year mark. You know, have you thought about it? You know, have you thought about, you know, what it is that, how we going to get to that goal? Are you working, like, have you thought about it? You know, can we sit down and talk about it a little bit more? Because I think I want to readdress it again because I do have a few ideas that could potentially expedite the process. Instead of us waiting 10 years, we might do it in the next 2 years. You know, just kind of brainstorm a little bit together. You know, just something to talk about right now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that. 9 times out of 10, even if he don't want to, he might tap in. Like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Now you're breaking this entire thing down. It's like, listen, you're really good at X, Y, and Z. I'm really good at the budgeting. I'm good at the finances. I'm good at handling the money in the back end stuff. You're really good at being the face of this shit and really understanding how to be magnetic with the people. And I think we could really make this work because this is easy for you. This is something that you do on a regular basis. And I do this on a regular basis. We could turn this into something huge. What do you think? And of course, you know, typical guys, you know, thinking logically, I don't know, but like, let me think about it. Let me figure out, you know, let me figure out what it is that I can do. Boom, 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 boom. You're having a conversation. Now, if you got to give him a little poo nanny, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of influence him and put a battery in his back. You know what I'm saying? You got to do that. But also on top of that, letting them know, like, listen, I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? I know, you know what I'm saying? Even if you got any doubts, I believe in you. I believe in the things that you can accomplish. You know, when you told me the first time that you want to be as successful as you can imagine, I believed you in that. And that's why I'm sticking with you. That's why I believe in you. You can put a battery in his back. That's speaking life into him. Now you're using leverage to get him to do the thing to get to where you want to be. Instead of you tuning your nose up at him, you speaking life into that man. Now it's, hey, you know what? I think they might, now he gonna sleep on it. You done gave him some poo nanny, you done sucked them off, you done sucked them dry. Now he thinking about it. Now he done went to sleep feeling good. He wake up in the morning, you know what, babe? I think that might be a great idea for us to do. I think we can make this shit happen. I think we can make this shit pop off. Cause now you said 2 years. Now he gonna be trying to make it happen within a year. Shit, I already know this. Now he brainstorming. Now his wires are starting to connect in his brain. Like, oh, I know such and such. I know this guy. Oh, I can connect these two guys. You know what? Let me get on the phone real quick. Let me make a couple of calls. Boom, make a couple of calls. He making shit happen. Next thing you know, business started within the next 2 to 3 months. Boom. Now shit is booming. Next year and a half. Now you guys are a year and a half. Y'all making $1 million plus. But instead, y'all want to be like the chick that we saw in a couple of videos ago. Y'all want to be like her just because you make a little bit more money. Now all of a sudden you want to toot your nose up and think that you deserve better. Don't make sense to me. Don't make sense to me at all, man. But y'all will figure it out. That's what we do over here on the Coordinator Show. We always tie back to the money. We talk about everything under the sun. As long as we tie back to the money, real conversations and real solutions. That's what we do over here. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned in the comments as well. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out on the Patreon. I'm supposed to be doing another video soon. Supposed to be doing another video soon. Supposed to be. But I'll get back to that. What else do I got? I don't think I got nothing else. Listen, I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. I appreciate y'all for coming to kick it with your boy. Thank you guys so much. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure you tap in. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. A whole lot can go right when they bless the mic. Hey, I'm telling exactly. A whole lot can go right when they bless the mic. That's a fact, Brody. That's a fact. Listen, if y'all haven't supported the channel yet, make sure y'all support the channel. Y'all been slacking. Yep, I'm calling everybody out. I'm calling everybody out. Even my team, I'm calling y'all out. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. But listen, man, make sure y'all have a great weekend. Make sure you have a great weekend. Make sure you're here on Tuesday night for the Banter and Barter Show. We're going to run it up. We're going to talk about some good shit Tuesday. So we're going to run it up on Tuesday. And listen, we're going to continue to keep building this thing. We're going to continue to keep building this empire up. And so until next time, my good people, I'll holler.